action, pumping and dumping, manipulate the market, flooded from the darknet, flooded from the deep web, keep it a secret. Every exchange got the nerdy brains trading on the frequent.
I thought I had all the videos lined up, and apparently I didn't. Because I have some pre-made videos here. So there goes the smoothness of that transition. Anyhow, welcome to the DEF CON 201 live stream. We are one of the many DEF CON groups throughout the United States and the world. We are located in New Jersey, obviously, with the 201 area code, particularly Hudson County, Jersey City, and we normally meet the every third Friday of the monthly. But because of COVID and the Gestapo that Trump runs, and we're lazy, we've been live streaming these meetups. Uh, as we've been staying home and social distancing, and because made in Jersey City. There we go. And hello out there, by the way. And we decided that instead of just using these streams for once a month, we would instead. Sorry, my brain's pretty fried right now from that Cory Doctorow keynote. Is always makes me like yay. Plus, I'm getting hungry. But yeah, we decided that instead of just doing this stuff for once a month, we would just create a variety of shows of all the subjects that we love and hold near dear to our coded to the metal hearts. And this show is called Crypto Barrons. And you've probably seen a lot of cryptocurrency shows, particularly on Twitch and D Live. Also, let me know if you can all hear me and that I'm not echoing in the chat. That would be great because I can adjust things. So you probably have seen a lot of cryptocurrency shows where let me actually take these headphones off. There we go. Where basically the sorry, I just blanked out again. Trust me, we're getting all the blank outs done in the beginning. But you've probably seen all those cryptocurrency shows where they talk about like markets and community and trading, and we get into a bit of that. In fact, we're going to go through a bunch of that this episode. But Crypto Barons is we're particularly looking at the technologies behind these cryptocurrencies and blockchain platforms. We actually literally started off with explaining what a blockchain is and how it works, and we then, with varying success, coded one on air with JavaScript, and then JavaScript's terrible. And then we showed another example that was a pre-completed one in Python. And we do a couple of different episodes. And thank you for letting me know that I sound fine. Hopefully, I look fine too. Last episode, well, two things real quick. One is that I know I keep saying we're going to pull out the pink coin and do the donation. And every time it gets delayed. But the way exchanges work, and when this finally is over, I will have a detailed episode with that about how exchanges work. It's taking forever to validate, and because of something else, basically the second episode of this month, in August, which we do the second and fourth Saturdays. So if I look at my calendar real quick, that should be on. Actually, it'll be the first one in August. So that's that week. Thank you, Blue underscore 9. That's like a really fast German 9 for following us there. If you really like this content, trust me, we're going to get into the content real quick. You can hit follow or subscribe whether you're on Twitch or D Live or on YouTube. We do like to shout stuff out there when we can see who's following us. Yeah, in the next episode on August 8th, that's when I'm going to talk about the donation process with Pinkcoin. And we have over $100. So keep staking that Pinkcoin for us because this is going to go for my nose is going crazy. Where's my tissues? It's going to go for the people who are the front lines and like for the medical front lines, firefighters, EMTs, people who need to pay their rent, homeless people, children, all of that. So please keep doing that. You're gonna. I promise you, by the time we pull this out, this is all gonna go to a great cause. The second thing is that originally this episode we were going to go into. Oh, and I forgot. I said, hey Jack, can you give me the blockchain? So hopefully he heard me. I'm gonna have to throw something out the door, but because I always forget to wear that blockchain. Yeah, we keep getting more viewers. Originally, we were supposed to go into master noding, and we were going to use Bitgreen as an example of how to do a proof of stake. We were actually going to stake something through the terminal, and then we were going to master node through the terminal. Now, I'm going to be brutally honest about Bitgreen because I really do like the platform. The problem with Bitgreen is that they basically it's doing way better than they thought. So like while you only need 10 to 40 coins to stake, you need 2,500 coins, 2,500 coins in order to do a master node. Now, back when this started out, that was like barely like $100. Now it's $700 USD in equivalence to Bitgreen. So I don't have all of that. I'm currently talking to the Bitgreen people to see if I can possibly get that amount from multiple donors, so that way I can show master noding live, and I'll continue to run that master node forever, and that way they have a new node onto their network. And thank you Zen underscore RL for that follow there. It's funny because I didn't post this episode on Minds yet, but next one I'll do that. If anyone's on Minds and you have a Minds.com, share this link to this, and that'll be good. So what are we going to talk about today? Well, when I came up with these episodes, I made an entire, unlike Master of Unlocking, which I love, I made an entire master list of topics I could talk about. And I can tell you right now, I have, including the ones we just did, I have 38 topics on cryptocurrencies and blockchain to do. I literally have enough to do until this time next year, 2 episodes a month without skipping a beat. One of the later episodes, I decided to bump up to the current episode. And so, what we're going to talk about today, and we're going to bring up a bit of news before then, is we're going to look at Facebook's Libra cryptocurrency platform and how they advertise it, what it is. We're going to actually run test code on it and pray the machine doesn't crash. And in the entire way, I'm going to essentially take a crap on it and explain why this is a bad idea. I think most of you can kind of figure out why it's probably a bad idea, but I'm going to get into details on that in a moment. But first, okay, so first thing is this. Blockchain? What? Do you have the blockchain? I forgot to ask you about that because you can't hear anything. So, the thing I do want to quickly cover, thank you, sir, and now I feel complete. It's our co-founder G.I. Jack, who does the awesome show Archvile Linux Perspective, uh, which is pretty awesome when my crappy computer doesn't display itself as a crappy computer. So if you hear any swearing in that episode, that was me because my computer was having a total meltdown. I was like, "What the that?" And just everything. It was like a slideshow. I was learning at like I had less frame rates than the original Ocarina of Time on Nintendo 64. It was nuts. But now that I have the blockchain, thankfully donated to by Jack, we're going to get into Facebook's Libra. Before I do get into that, though, I do want to address something else going on. Well, two quick things. One is that the Hackers on Planet Earth conference is going on. So everyone in chat, every day until August 2nd, like once August 3rd hits, we're going to stop doing this. But every day until August 2nd at around between 3 or 4 p.m. We are going to watch. I mean, we're already restreaming the Hope Conference on Twitch, and we're trying to do so on YouTube. But we are going to watch every single keynote and make commentary about it before and afterwards. Tomorrow, and if you wondered why the whole thing vibrated, welcome to Living with Jack. But what were we doing here? It's like I have like cat feet, like no one hears me coming, and like Jack's like an Abrams tank where you can hear it like all the way from another state. Um, and that's why I think we make good personalities. Can you close the door, by the way? Jack, can you close the door? There's too much light in here. The camera's off. Jack, can you close the door? There's too much the light. Thank you. Now the light balance is good. Um, but we're gonna watch the keynotes, and tomorrow I'm gonna stream at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, simply because we are going to that's going to be the EFA talk right before the keynote, and we're part of the Electronic Frontier Alliance, which is a subsect of the Electronic Frontier Foundation. So I want to watch that with you guys, and then we'll see the keynote and then fart around. I hope. But every 4 p.m., slightly before 4 p.m. every day until August 2nd. We're going to watch a Hope keynote, and then we're going to explore something of what's going on at Hope, whether it's their chat rooms or some of the villages and things like that. The second thing I want to quickly bring up is the giant elephant in the room in cryptocurrency, which is that cryptocurrency hack. Right now, I'm not going to bring up all the stuff here. You can go to our Instagram or our Twitter to relook at that. But basically, what happened, or what we understood so far, is that either whether it's an internal developer at Facebook that willingly gave away their access keys, or that they got pwned themselves through like social engineering and OwnStead, uh, someone was able to gain one of the admin accesses to Twitter, and instead of doing something cool like post endless nude photos on Trump's timeline, or post like a Rick rolling video on Obama's Twitter, they took over all of non-conservative Twitter, and they took over companies and celebrities and blockchain people. The guy I was talking about before, Justin Sun, the Tron Network on DLive, his account got hacked because of this. And they all posted a Bitcoin scam where they said they were trying to raise funds for either charities or their campaigns or whatever, and they post a link, and it all went to the same thing. And if I remember correctly, they already, let me actually double check the number, but uh, up until like literally it took like 5 minutes for that news to be reported. And once it did, oh boy, it was so fast that they already got a significant amount of money. And I'm going to look it up here because I'm on our Instagram, of how much it was, because it was absolutely amazing. It was, yeah, uh, it was $40,000 they made in like the first 5 minutes before it was announced this was all a scam. That's insane. And to note about, from what I understand, um, you normally need, in order to do accounts, because people basically were getting locked out of their accounts and they couldn't get in because essentially they were bypassing completely the two-factor authentication. So even though all these accounts had proper two-factor authentication and were kept secure, like even on the person side, to not give away the different factors of the 2FA in public, like they were following actual guidelines. It's like from Die Hard with ho ho ho, now I have a machine gun. When you have admin access at Twitter, or admin access anywhere on any social network, congratulations. There's no way in hell you're going to get anything back. Like you're never going to get in accounts. Mods can't get into their accounts. It's like that just breaks everything. So that's like a poo poo on Twitter for making like one of the biggest security fails. Ironically, shortly before the Pony Awards, I wonder if they're going to write that in at the Pony Awards for Black Hat. When this happens, as like the biggest fail of the year. And there's a lot of fails this year. But I just wanted to go over that because it's Crypto Barrons, and I kind of wanted to talk about that. And we will do a future episode. It's going to come sooner than you think, about how people legit code wise and financially hack cryptocurrency blockchains and destabilize them and steal coins and forge fake ones. And we're also going to go with that scams, including some really high profile scams, some that are really high profile, but I'm pretty sure a lot of people for some reason don't know about them for whatever reason, because it doesn't make the news. But anyhow, in lieu of doing BitGreen, which we'll do the next episode, I believe that's on August 8th, let's get into Facebook's Libra, because there is a lot to talk about here. So let's first do what we normally do, and I'm going to shrink myself. Let me move this up here. Yep. And here we go. I'm now going to take the, I'm going to take the special cake and shrink myself down to appropriate level. I think that's decent. And let's bring up, let's see if this will work. Yeah, there we go. We're going to do this for now. Later on, we're going to actually have to do display capture because I'm going to be typing in commands. All I've done is a git clone. Everything else, we're going to follow instructions and cross our fingers that this whole thing works. I've done this before, but I haven't done it on this machine, and I didn't configure this machine. So this will be an interesting kind of test here. But yeah, let's go look at Libra. So I'm a Libra. What the heck is Libra? Uh, you probably have heard of this thing called Facebook. Some people call it Facebook. That's one of our nicknames for it around here. Really annoying. Basically, if you're a boomer or an old fart like me in the millennial era, you probably either were on Facebook, or like me, because my family members are stuck on it. You're still currently using Facebook. I just got a text message. That's why. And Well, Facebook, this is Facebook's new project. If you haven't noticed, Facebook has been expanding out a lot. So I guess the first question really is, before we get to what Libra, is why Libra? And it's quite simple. Despite Facebook owning like basically infecting like over 2.2 or something billion people's lives, even to this day, and being responsible for a lot of like the election scams and stuff like that, and other terrible stuff, as well as some activist stuff organizes on there. That's good. um, we have a terrible thing, particularly in the United States, about our business where we always constantly want growth. So basically, Facebook has hit a plateau with core Facebook, the social media service, where they are barely getting any new users. They've maxed out the amount of people who ever want to be on it. In fact, they're basically losing users because of all the scandals and stuff. And you probably remember the infamous Zuckerberg coming out of his hidey hole and trying to act human for 3 hours in front of Congress, which is amazing because no one in Congress is human. And the fact that he managed to outborg all of them is just wow. But yeah, they're actually losing customers. So they've already have a couple of side businesses. Some of them are purchases. Like you probably have heard the app WhatsApp, which I don't recommend because one, you have to enable the encryption in it to do the peer-to-peer communication. Like both have to enable in order to work. And two, it's run by Facebook, so whether Facebook's still reading your stuff even when it's encrypted, so whatever. And Instagram, which is something that we're on. uh Here's our actually, I can bring this up on the computer. What the heck am I doing here? I keep forgetting that even though it's rudimentary, I can actually bring things up on the desktop here. So yeah, their other thing, and I didn't put the HTTPS, that's why that certified failed, um, is Instagram. This is our Instagram, for example. So it's kind of fascinating because there's a lot of people, and this is not going to let me in until I sign in, but there's a lot of people who are always like, yeah, F Facebook, I'm getting off of it, but they all have Instagram. So it's like Facebook still gets your money and your eyeballs on their ads. So, you have to throw the baby with the bathwater. And I don't blame people because there's a lot of stuff that Facebook's involved in. If you really want to know how severe um, Facebook is, and then we'll get to actual Libra. Firefox, which is what I'm currently on, has an infamous extension that's called a Facebook container. I haven't installed it on this yet because we need to reconfigure this computer. Actually, maybe I should. Yeah, I'm going to install it right now. I'm just going to install it right now and see what happens. But yeah, what this does is it puts Firefox is a thing called containers, and so it puts everything in these like virtualized boxes through their browser. So with Facebook container installed and enabled, I hope, because the no the there it is. There's the fence icon. What will happen is that if you go to something that is, let's go back to our Instagram again, that is owned or run by Facebook, you see that little bar underneath? That's the container. So it automatically senses that even though there's no mention of Facebook on here, it knows that because it has a white it has a permission list. Instagram is owned by Facebook, so it automatically containerizes it. If you just keep checking every time you get that little bar underneath, because that means there's some integration with Facebook in the website. Also block like the follow back buttons and stuff like that. The privacy badger also does the same thing when it comes to those little button widgets. And you'll really see how many websites like use Facebook. Like you see that with the fence, that means it's contained. That means Facebook only sees what's on here and it doesn't see like the rest of your browsing stuff. They're that level of insidious. And the reason why they have to do that is again is because they need to expand. And so they've gone to WhatsApp and they've been doing a bunch of other things. They bought Oculus, so they're into VR and all of that. And the new thing they announced years ago is Libra. What is Libra? Simply put, Libra is more than a crappy zodiac sign, although it's very close. It is basically literally digital cash. It's more digital cash than Dash is, and we will get to Dash in a future episode. Basically, they're hitting all the points here. So, remember how when I talk about a lot of blockchain stuff, and particularly cryptocurrencies and altcoins and shitcoins, and the thing about them is that they most of them, like for example Bitcoin, which is like the status quo, or Ethereum or Litecoin, any of the big five, they're all decentralized. There's no centralized bank or authority that issues coins or stuff. It's all done offhand by the community. They're all encrypted. If there's a foundation, the foundation's literally just there to do the wallets and to expand the outreach for it, but they don't actually own or technically run the blockchain. The blockchain just exists by itself and all of that. Now Libra, because Libra is something different. Libra does use blockchain. It does that for a security validation system, so it knows about transactions, can keep ledgers of them, etc. It is very highly centralized, though. We're going to get into that in a moment, but it is extremely highly centralized. It's also one of the few cryptocurrencies, because there's others out there, that is actually backed by something physical. In this case, they actually have reached out to banks, and so all of Libra is the sum net balance of all the different all the different fiat currencies values. So between the U.S. dollar, the British pound, the European euro, the Chinese yuan, the Indian rupee and such. That medium balance is whatever Libra is. So you don't have these crazy up and down swings like the way Bitcoin does or even Litecoin. That's the way that works. Also, Libra is supposed to be able to transaction very fast. And a big thing about it is that because Libra is built into Facebook, it can literally be everywhere. It's going to be integrated into Facebook. Eventually, WhatsApp is going to automatically generate a Libra wallet for you, whether you like to or not. And that will be on your system. So even if you never use it, that's a piece of bloat you'll never have to that you won't ever use, and it'll always be on there. Even though they are going to make a separate client for it, and we will get into that. Uh, and it's on there, and basically because of that type of system, the transactions, unlike Bitcoin, which can take like a couple of seconds to entire minutes, like 10-15 minutes at absolute ridiculous levels. um, the transactions happen really fast. It basically happens as fast as Cash App, from what I understand. So that's kind of what Libra is. And actually, this is probably a video I forgot to record. Yeah, I forgot to record this, so I'll just let Facebook pretentiously explain what Libra is and of itself. Let's see if this works. Oh yeah, they really want to make it just the beginning. Jesus Christ. By the way, in chat, if anyone has any questions about what Libra is, or if I'm like over explaining something or you can't hear me, please let me know in chat, because I love talking with the audience. But yeah, that was Facebook's way of pretentiously talking about Libra. Now, note a couple of things about its setup in that trailer. First of all, you'll notice there were very few, not only just American and like basically like Western European businesses, but they really focused on the low economic section. One of the things that Facebook is trying to push with this is this idea that because this is global cash money, that this will somehow like get rid of the class system and that the money will be so fast and so free that anyone can use it. So you'll notice that they're really targeting, as they mentioned, that, which is true, that like nearly over 1 billion people do not have bank accounts because they're that poor, but they do have smartphones and other digital devices. So their idea is that if they can basically if they can have Libra in that, that would be more people who don't have bank accounts to have actual bank accounts technically through Libra. So they're really targeting that. Or as one senator brilliantly put it out when Zuckerberg actually had to come into Congress, he mentioned that he's basically a uber rich man trying to hide under the veneer of the poor in order to attempt to win over government and like public opinion trust. So that's that. So you'll notice that with the marketing. Another thing that I want to specify is that it wants to be a global currency. It's the same way how like Microsoft's in the video game race. They do definitely see Nintendo and PlayStation as their rivals, but to them, their direct future rival is Google. It's the same thing with Libra, where yes, Libra is going to compete if it ever comes out with Bitcoin and Litecoin and Monero and the Ethereum platform because they want to make this an entire platform. But what they're really competing with, which is part of the reason why they've been struggling, is actual fiat currencies from other countries. Libra, they basically want to make be the middleman of all the global currencies and have everything translate from Libra to one currency to another to that's the same currency anywhere in the world super quick. That's their thing, and that's how they're going to get money. Not only the residuals from that, but also the information. Facebook has said that because they've spun off all these side companies that they don't have direct access to these, but business practices. How many times has Google had like a third party partner that they say has nothing to do with Google, and then we find out that not only them, but they are involved, but they also like put their foot in the door so their friends at the CIA and NSA can also look at stuff. It's going to be the same thing here. There's already signs of that, and we're going to get into the partner stuff in a moment. But speaking of videos, yeah, see they talk about 1.7 billion are unbanked. Like they're trying to convince us as, oh, this will benefit the poor, when in reality this is more of just them expanding their business. I've never heard any poor person talk about this. They'd rather still use the fiat money. And we're going to get to a bunch of stuff like this. But again, if anyone can hear me out there, if you have any questions about anything I'm talking about, or you want some suggestions of how I'm talking about on the screen, or questions about Libra, or you want to express how much Facebook sucks, please let me know. But while that happens, we're going to watch another video. There's only going to be a couple of videos, and then we're going to get right into the coding about them explaining what the network actually is. So this is Facebook's own explanation of what the Libra network is. So yeah, this talks about sounds like communism. Actually, it's like as one of my friends call it, it's the theme park version of capitalism. That's how everyone describes America's actual economy. Is that it's not actually capitalism, like the way like Germany's capitalist everywhere, everything's free. That isn't technically capitalism. It's like socialist. Sorry, does that mic have too much yeah, it's much more hustling, like box money. It's basically government organization. This is their system. That allows the boss of countries to do that. But we're going to talk here. Facebook is talking about the security of its platform, and the reason for that is because again they were hammered about their security with the 2016 elections, and that's why, as we say on DEF CON 201, is that when you see like everything, like Facebook is trying to convince you they're the most private, secure thing on the planet. So is Twitter. So is Amazon. So is Microsoft. They all claim that they look for your privacy. They all have privacy policies, like with Apple and stuff like that. But all they're doing is just saying the word privacy and stuff and saying, oh, we have a token system or 2FA, and they call it a day. They don't really care about your privacy. They still want to mine all your data and stuff. And because of that, since everything claims is private and secure, basically almost nothing is. So so that's like a whole problem there. And yeah, okay, not the video playing. Okay. What I said before earlier in the video is that as you saw, they're using what's called validator nodes. Basically, validator nodes are like independent, from what I understand, they're basically independent like Genesis blocks. If you go to the first episode, you'll know what a Genesis block is. They have the entire complete ledger, and while they do get update with the ledger, they don't cross-reference a ledger. They kind of sit on their own independent things, and that way, if something's tampered on a blockchain, there is one permanent ledger that they can cross-reference that is super hard to tamper with, and it's very tricky to set up. Not many blockchains use this. There are a couple, and we'll get into those in the future because we are going to talk about blockchain security and privacy, literally in late September, because we're going to lead into October with some fun topics. But if you this is the type of security they're trying to implement here, is the sort of advanced stuff like validator nodes. That's what I was saying earlier, so I apologize about that. I'm going to try to figure out like these balances and stuff later. Um, so as long as you can hear me now, that's basically them explaining how the Libre network's set up. Let's see what other thing. Oh, if you're wondering, until WhatsApp and everything else is crammed in with Libra, how are you going to access stuff? Well, there used to be a thing called Calibra, which is essentially an independent client. They recently renamed it to Navi. Like it's like the blue people from Avatar, or the blue what's it with Blue and Navi? The blue annoying fairy from Zelda that goes, "Hey, listen," which is I think an app description for Facebook and its ads, and it's propaganda, especially the right wing propaganda, which is like really obnoxious. I don't know how anyone falls for that. Like even in propaganda standards, it's just sad. But yeah, this is their independent wallet. Um, and basically this is where you do all your transactions. You notice it looks very much like WhatsApp, and this is their it's its own app, but then it's going to integrate itself later on with Facebook Messenger and WhatsApp itself. They want to make this ubiquitous as possible, and they want to make it as simple basically as Cash App or like the current money exchange that you can do on Facebook Messenger, where you type in the amount of dollars and or Libra that you have. Sorry, Libra that you have. It should really be called Libra, and then you send that to them, and in like 2 seconds it shows up in their wallet, and then they can also easily transfer that back. And like that's kind of their whole pitch here. Now, even though I think Navi itself is not open source, they are, see, look at security stuff. I'm going to get into that in a second. They did claim that the backbone for how the Libra blockchain communicates with wallet apps are going to be open source. So if you don't like Navi, you can apparently code your own wallet essentially that's very similar to Navi. And I'm kind of interested because I would actually, when they do eventually, if they ever do publish that code, I'd like to see how much you can create a functioning wallet and adding more like security and less snooping from Facebook before it breaks. That would be a fun experiment. But yeah, no, because they keep talking about, so the way Navi works is kind of like actual cryptocurrency exchanges that are not decentralized, where you have to have an actual ID um, in order to do everything here. And let's click on that and see what it says about it. Scroll down here. And I'm gonna show you videos of exactly what I mean before. So yeah, new global payment system, blockchain, because they say it's based on other actual the millions of other fiats. It's stable. They're trying to promote like the business for it. And this website eats as much data as the New York Times, so I'm gonna close it. Uh, so yeah, you notice it goes to Facebook website and it does containerize it. Um, but yeah, let's see what they do for consumer data privacy. Because one of the big things, and I'll tell you about this. Uh, Later on we're going to talk about the Libra Association, and basically one of the reasons why they had to rebrand Calibra to Navi, because they had to do a whole rebranding, because all of the big companies they had that were part of the Libra Association basically what was it, PayPal backed out, and it caused a cascade where a bunch of others backed out. And part of the reason why they backed out was because the United States and other governments, who obviously see this as a threat and also are concerned because of like all the sham elections going on, were really worried about supposedly criminals abusing this network like the way they abuse the Monero blockchain and stuff like that, which we'll get into a future episode. But let's see. Uh, so they claim that it's compliance with the local laws. They said government officials. The weird part again is if this is supposed to be a global cryptocurrency, how are they going to do the global stuff? Because like the laws in China are very different from the laws in the United States, even though their policing's the same. So that's going to be a thing. That this is why it's so vague. Let's see. They aggravate the data. Apparently, this is here we go. Navi may share aggregated data to Facebook Inc. or third parties related to. Oh, we got to follow. Thank you, Score 37 something I read, following us. Thank you for doing that. Again, if you like this sort of content in the future, especially if when we watch the Hope keynote speakers, please hit follow, subscribe to whatever platform you're on, whether you're on Twitch, D Live, or YouTube, or watching YouTube through Tor, which we have a fun little hack through Invitus on that. I'll also mention that for all those on D Live, I'm going to try to distribute the lemons again, and we'll see if anyone actually gets lemons this time. We're going to try to keep doing that, especially when I get actual money that I'm supposed to be owed. I'm going to get a crap ton of lemons, and we'll constantly give lemons on D Live. But yeah, so it says that, see, even though they're like, oh no, we're an independent thing, it will share aggregated data. My question is, you give them an inch, they're probably going to take a mile from this. So they're saying again that that's security. Do you really want to hand again data for Facebook, that sort of thing here. Navi will use it to comply with the law, so they're using Facebook for legal stuff, and they also are using Financial Action Task Force, the Global Anti-Money AML, CTFL, the Anti-Money Laundering and Counterfeiting of Financing Terrorism Clause. Basically, they're saying we will kowtow to any legal thing that's out there. So they're not really doing security in terms of code, especially since we can't see the Navi code yet because they actually haven't put it on GitHub. But that's kind of what they're doing. This is the page for the white paper. Let me read a comment here. It says, Wouldn't this make it easier for malware rats to just transfer it? Isn't it linked to other crypto? From my understand, they did say they could technically link it to another cryptocurrency like Bitcoin or whatever. But again, Libra is not trying to Libra is not trying to compete with other cryptocurrencies. That's their claim. They are, but that's not their target. Their target, which is actually even bigger issue, is they're trying to compete with actual fiat money from other countries, and we're gonna get into that in a moment. But yeah, they have their entire white paper, so that's how we know that they're at least semi-serious about this, and they've had to change this multiple times. It's a very long read. You have the introduction here. Look at all that scrolling. That's a lot of white paper. So there's this whole introduction, and they mentioned the payment system. When we talk about the payment system, let me just show you two videos about Navi itself. So like this is kind of what Navi is going to look like. It's very Facebook design. If you've used like Cash App or WhatsApp or Messenger or whatever, that's what this is going to look like. You have a balanced upper left hand corner, and all of your contacts are probably synced to not only your contacts on your phone but Facebook. And when you want to send money, you just select the person that you want to do. You type in either the U.S. amount or the Libra amount, and I'm assuming that because it's linked to multiple fiats, uh, it will automatically do the translation between the Libras and that. So if you want to send like USD to like Deutschmarks through Libra, it will automatically do that exchange rate calculation. So that's kind of what currently Navi apparently looks like, although that could also easily be a mock-up. But yeah, there's a whole the whole payment system here. Again, their goals, they want security, scalability. Again, because they're backed by actual fiat, they're not going to have the crazy swings, and that also means they can technically print if they want unlimited amount or mint or mine essentially an unlimited amount of cryptocurrencies. Unlike one of the kind of problems with Bitcoin, which is even though it's going to take 120 more years, there will be a point where there will be no more Bitcoins anymore because there's a max cap limit on that. Although again, that actually works for its system more because of how decentralized it is. They basically have to cap it. There is a Libra reserve, and it's also run by and that reserve is being managed by what's known as the Libra Association. So real quick, uh, this is the Libra Association. Their whole thing is they claim that they're open source. That apparently what they mean by that is that they're going to be really transparent. They really should just put transparency, that they're scalable and secure. You notice they keep saying secure and things like that. That's because again the whole Facebook hacks. Here's all of the terrible photos of all the middle-aged people that are going to run this apparently. And I think if we scroll down enough, yeah, here are the current member companies. It's a lot of companies. I can already see some that have already completely full out. So you have all these major banking institutes as well as cryptocurrency. You have Coinbase in here, obviously Navi's own thing. Uh, Farfetch, Iliad, Kiva, Lyft is still in there. Shopify, Spotify, Uber. So both they got both Uber and Lyft. Women's World Banking, etc. They're all in there. Actually even, there were more bigger companies. I think Merrill Lynch used to be in there and stuff. But again, I'm going to explain after we show this video about them explaining potentially the Libra Association, why they lost a bunch of people in this association. But let's hear what Facebook has to say about its own stupid Libra Association. I have no idea what this music is. It's like someone eating like snacks or something. So they're both in charge of financing as well as directly in charge of the notes. So we're going to get into their structure in a moment. If we're going to get into all of this as soon as the video ends. I feel like we have people dropping the stream just because of how bad this music is. It's almost over with though. It's like wind chimes. So yeah, that was their pretentious way of explaining it. So more things about the Libra Association. First of all, as you notice, they say it's open source. They mean transparency about like their actions, and they also are trying to do a voting system where no one person really has a vote over one thing. Jack, can you turn it down in there? That there's not any over one thing. Can you wear headphones or turn it down in there? I'm picking up your feed on my feed. Okay. But the thing about it is that it's still an internal group. The votes, even though they claim they're going to display all of their information transparently, you don't have any say in the Libra Association as someone who uses Libra or any of the fiat currencies it's attached to. It is literally all those companies that I showed you at the bottom. This is basically an all classes rich club here. And even though they open it so other companies can get in, if I remember correctly, you have to put down something like I think like $10 million or something in order to have your vote process to see if you could become part of a member of the Libra Association. So that's their whole governance system right there. Basically, you know how all the banks kind of work together in cahoots and screw everyone over. So imagine this, but it's a cryptocurrency, and that's basically what they want to do. Again, this is literally no different than how modern banking works, except that they're using a blockchain and that all of this is digital. This is literally exactly like, money. This is digital money. This is legit digital cash. So let's talk about the blockchain itself, and this is where we kind of are going to get into code stuff here. So uh, there's a bunch of elements to this blockchain system, and you can see it here. It has its own section in the white paper, and let's kind of get into that. So this is the developers area where they have the blockchain, and we're going to cover all these different aspects of it. So before we get into the blockchain itself, let's go to the GitHub to look at a bit more details. And what's really cool is we actually, if you're on Twitch, we actually have a GitHub widget now, and we've pinned the Libra GitHub on there. So if you want to see exactly what we're seeing for yourself, click on that, and it will open to the same page on our DEF CON 201 GitHub, that is. And if you want to check out our GitHub, you can go to I believe it's at DEF CON 201. Actually, let me look at that up again. It is our GitHub, which is also where we host the website. It's github.com/defcon201. We have the Libra pinned here, and if you're on Twitch, you can click on that to see it. Otherwise, their actual GitHub is at github.com/Libra, and this is the only real like code app. It's a lot of different stuff. And what's unique about this is that they claim that they've used their own language to write this, but what they've actually done is they've basically took Rust for no reason, just because, I guess they like wiping their butt with cheese graters. They took the programming language Rust and basically created a new meta language out of it that's called Move, if I remember correctly. Where is it in here? Yeah, which is supposedly it's a custom upper code for how they've coded the blockchain here. It's called Move, and they talk about how it needs to be scalable, how it works in the blockchain while doing security, stuff like that. Manages all different digital assets. And let's see here. So they say blockchain is a replicated state machine. Those replicators, aka those basically isolated genesis nodes, are known as validators, aka validator blocks. Each validator knows how to execute a transaction to transition its internal state machine from the current to new state. So all the validators start from the same initial state, and then the validators agree with the next transaction. Basically, these are kind of like AIs without being AIs that overview how the actual transaction, aka it's more centralized. Even though they're using code for this, it's not humans. That's kind of the way that works. So this is kind of them just describing the language and some of the math in here, such as the script format and the evaluation rule that results from all of these. Uh, Again, they have their own white paper for this. It's really a kind of a crazy read here. And like this is an example of the code for like a peer-to-peer payment transaction script. So you have public and you have the payee and then the amount and simple numbers. And then basically it tells those validator blocks of let coin to this to check the validation. So you refer to sender and you copy, and I guess the validation happens exactly on the blockchain itself through the different node systems, hence why it's using a blockchain. It has its own currency module. This is how they break down what fiat currencies are being gone through and over in the reserves that are done by the Libra Association. Again, it's a very, very nice in-depth read here of how this whole thing supposedly works. And like what's next for it, they're going to implement it completely into the core blockchain instead of basically using Rust with some of the moves, features, code in Rust. They want to improve the developer experience because that's what you get when you actually build your foundation in Rust. And they want better verification methods and support third-party move modules. Again, they're going to make the back-end system for Navi open source. So if you don't want to use Navi, you can essentially code your own. You can code your own wallet here. And another part of the Libra blockchain itself is the what they call the state machine replication. Let me go to the technical background over here. And the main way it figures that out with its chaining and knows how to round and route certificates is they're using a BFT solution system. What they basically did was they took something called Hot Stuff, which is and they basically turned it into their own system because Hot Stuff is open source. And what Hot Stuff does is that it solves the asynchronous Byzantine fault tolerance problem. That's a lot of words. What is that? Let's look at the final video before we go into code. If I can find it here. Here we go. Here's what all that word jargon I was talking about.
Most blockchain digital ledger, which is maintained by a distributed network of computers. Such a technology allowed the creation of trustless economic systems, where borderless financial transactions could be executed without the need for intermediaries. Since traditional banking and payment systems are heavily dependent on trust, cryptocurrencies are now being adopted as a viable alternative because they rely on blockchain technology and are used within trustless systems. The participants of a cryptocurrency network need to regularly agree on the current state of the blockchain, and that is what we call consensus achievement. However, reaching consensus on distributed systems in a safe and efficient way is far from being an easy task. So, how can a distributed network of computer nodes agree on a decision if some of the nodes are likely to fail or act dishonestly? This is the fundamental question of the Byzantine generals problem, which gave birth to the concept of Byzantine fault tolerance, sometimes referred to as BFT. The Byzantine generals problem was conceived in 1982 as a logical dilemma that illustrates how a group of generals may have communication problems when trying to agree on their next move. Imagine that each general has its own army, and each group is situated in different locations around the target city. The generals need to agree on either attacking or retreating. It doesn't matter whether they attack or retreat, as long as they all agree on a common decision. So, we may consider the following requirements. Each general has to decide and vote on either attacking or retreating. After the vote is made, it cannot be changed. All generals have to agree on the same decision and execute it in coordination. However, they are only able to communicate through messages, and the central challenge of the Byzantine generals problem is that the messages can get somehow delayed, destroyed, or lost. Even if a message is successfully delivered, one or more generals may choose, for whatever reason, to send a fraudulent message to confuse others, leading to a total failure. If we apply the dilemma to blockchains, each general represents a network node and they need to reach consensus on the current state of the system. This means that the majority of participants within a distributed network have to agree and execute the same action in order to avoid failures. What is Byzantine fault tolerance? Byzantine fault tolerance is the property of a system that is able to resist the class of failures derived from the Byzantine generals problem. In other words, a Byzantine fault-tolerant system is able to continue operating even if some of the nodes fail to communicate or act maliciously. There are multiple ways of building a Byzantine fault-tolerant blockchain, which are related to the different types of consensus algorithms. We can define a consensus algorithm as the mechanism through which a blockchain network reaches consensus. The algorithm used by Bitcoin is called proof of work and is one of the most common implementations. While the Bitcoin protocol defines the rules, the consensus algorithm determines how these rules will be followed, for instance, during the validation of transactions. The concept of proof of work is older than cryptocurrencies, but Satoshi Nakamoto developed a modified version that enabled the creation of Bitcoin as a Byzantine fault-tolerant system. Although proof of work is not 100% tolerant to faults, it has proven to be one of the most secure implementations for blockchain networks and is considered by many as one of the most genius solutions to the Byzantine faults. Securing these systems is an ongoing effort, and the existing consensus algorithms are yet to overcome a few limitations, but the potential applications are certainly inspiring widespread innovation. Beyond the blockchain industry, a few use cases of Byzantine fault-tolerant systems include the aviation, space, and nuclear power industries. To learn more about cryptocurrencies and the technologies behind them, don't forget to watch.
I think we're good about that because I don't want to have to advertise Binance because we'll look at them in the future and all the weird stuff they do. But that's what the Byzantine fault system is. Basically, it's how do you come up, as I said, each block has a hash of the previous block and also generates a new block that then will be a previous hash for the next block in the chain. But there still needs to be a consensus of how those blocks are calculated, if hashes are valid and stuff. And so the Byzantine fault problem is, whether it's intentional or not, if there was misinformation or a malicious thing on the network, how does the network continue on if it validates? Because if it truly had to check methodologically every single time, Bitcoin would be even more slower than it is now. And that's why these sort of Byzantine fault tolerant solutions are a big deal. And hot stuff is one of them. Uh, let me look at exactly where they talk about this. Yeah, what it does is it basically returns to the design roots of it. So I'm trying to remember what the hell it is here because there's so much I have to cover because I can't wait till I get to the coding part. Oh, I forgot. Yeah, you have to. I think clicking on one of these gives it to the paper. Yeah. Yeah, it's a replication. This is a replication protocol to do their proof. So what hot stuff does is enables a correct leader to drive the protocol to consistency at the pace of the actual network delay. So think of it like Rome, where when basically their government was locked in, they couldn't do something. The citizens itself would pick like one politician out there. This is actually how Caesar got in power. And basically that would become the temporary lead until the crisis is over, and then it goes supposed to go back to a normal system. Now, obviously with Caesar, it never did because he made a personality cult. But basically, this sort of replicates that. But because computers just basically follow instructions, normally, unless this is used as a malicious attack, um, you will not have that weird sort of power dynamic because this happens organically, decentralized, just like everything else. Now, with the let's go back to the white paper with the way they're going to do their solution here with the state machine replication. I don't know with Libre BTF. Sorry, BFT. I don't know if it's going to be as decentralized. It seems like it's going to run decentralized by itself, but it might have an override in it because this is how it sees Genesis, and these are the rounds of blocks, and then that's the commit, so it validates. So each one is a lead node that validates, and it gets grant permission by the Genesis. That's how they've modified the hot stuff into their own chain. So I think with the Genesis block, they might be able to have functions in it that would be able to override that from like a third party from one of the people in the foundation, because as they send the foundation, it also they're also in charge of the actual like security on the chain. But I'm not sure about that. So let me see if there's anything else. That's the blockchain itself. Yeah. So what I'm going to do here is we're going to go on an extremely short break, and then because I'm going to get some water here, and then we're going to go right into running the Libra test network and a little bit of move code and see how this goes. So now that we got that out of the way, we're going to go right into the tech geeky stuff. So give me one moment to just refill for Hydration Squad, and we will wrap up this episode of Crypto Barrons here. I hope you enjoyed so far. Be right back. And we are back. So, sorry, I had to go get some water, you guys. Because I'm going to need that now. So, now that we know most of the background about Libra, and we're already hinting about the unscrupulousness of its extreme centralized control, and trust me, at the end, we're going to get into all the faults, and you're going to learn a lesson here about a lot of faults with cryptocurrencies and blockchain. But now that we know about the different tech that it uses, the fact that it's based on that its entire code's based on Rust, that they're using a modified version of Rust that they call Move, that's going to be its main coding branch in the future, kind of like the way technically Python is, and like most programming languages are descendant from Objective C. Um, burp, and how they're trying to figure out the fault problem, its different security measures. They actually, again, they do have their own GitLab and now sorry, GitHub. They're not savvy enough to do GitLab. And what we're going to do is they have an entire test network on here. So let's look into that. Let's look into the that test network. Let's see if we can build something here. So let's quickly go over how the transaction system is going to work. So Libra is a client. So a Libra client, what they do is they construct a raw transaction. So let's say they're going to translate 10 Libra from Alice account to Bob's account, and we're actually going to use the names Alice and Bob for this. So what's going to happen is Alice is going to have the account address. There's the program, which is the wall is going to indicate the actions that should be performed on Alice's behalf, which will include the move bytecode in the Rust programming to do the peer-to-peer transaction script and a list of inputs for the script. So that way, Alice can tell exactly what the payment is, and Bob can verify the type of receivement and they got the receivement. Then there's a gas price, which is basically how much that Libra is going to scrape at the top. So she has to basically send. It's like the same way with tax when you pay for something, and if it's $7.99 because of the plus tax, it usually ends up as like $8.20. Libra does the same thing because remember they're literally a digital currency where, and this is going to be probably one of their main ways of how they make money besides data mining your personal stuff like they do with everything else at Facebook, is it scrapes a bit from the top. So you need a little bit extra Libra, like what a Satoshi equivalent of a Libra, to put enough gas to actually do the transaction for the rest of the money. So it's like that gas price is the horse, and then your cart's the actual money that the other person's going to receive. And then it needs to know the maximum amount that it has to calculate in order to do that transaction. Then it figures out the expiration time of that transaction in the system, and then what sequence number it is. And it has to make a bunch of assumptions, which, for example, that both Alice and Bob has accounts on the Libra blockchain. The Alice account has the X amount of Libra that we just said, so 110 Libras. The current sequence number of the account, which apparently in this example is current 5, and that there are at least 100 validators that would make a proper network, and that there is a proposed validator that's going to confirm that transaction round. So what you're going to see in this test network, again, the client, and then it initiates, this is the whole validation system on the node, which is the emission control, and it goes into the meme pool, haha. So emission control, sorry, that's at the end. It goes to a virtual machine in order to run the test code. That does the storage of it on there. When the time code is up, it does the execution. If the execution seems off or whatever, it goes back to the virtual machine, and this is like the chewing the cud. Once that happens, it goes to a consensus to do the final validation. Once the execution is correct, with all the parameters we listed above, then it goes into the meme pool, and then that will go to other validators, in which then that person goes to the other client in the exact opposite way, where it will go into the meme pool. Then it will probably go to the virtual machine, storage, execution, consensus, back to the administration control, which will approve it for the client, and then display the proper thing there. So yeah, that's basically how I summed up all of this stuff right here. There's also a validator component interactions here within the emission controls. So both client and the virtual machine talk to the emission. The client can go through the emission control to go directly into storage, and the virtual machine can go directly into the meme pool. Everything basically what they're saying is the centralization has to pass through the emission control. So just keep that in mind when we talk about that. Same thing with the virtual machine. So everything has to go through the emission control, and thus everything has to go to the virtual machine. Those are both the middlemans to this sort of system. And before it goes to any other validators, the emission control, the virtual machine, the consensus has to be pooled into the meme pool in order to be properly sent along the network, so that the receiver can properly get the amount of blockchain. And then It's the same thing again with the consensus. So I guess you could technically program this to do the meme pool or the consensus, although you should probably do the meme pool because you need to validate the consensus. This could be a side channel attack where if it's not defined as either the meme pool or the consensus, you might be able to actually pull some things off during the consensus stage. I haven't tested that yet, but that could be a possible thing there. And this explains the whole execution part and the storage. And that's basically how not only does the security work, but the transactions work. So let's go into this. So I have this over here. The only thing I've done so far is, oh, and let me, because you actually have to see the coding, we are going to turn off the background here. And we're going to go in display capture mode. I'm actually going to move the display capture up a bit like I've done with the others here. There we go. Because now you should be able to see my command prompt here. And by the way, I just want to clarify, I mostly, right now have a default Ubuntu Linux. I usually use either a Debian or Arch Linux variant. My personal favorite with Arch is Monjaro. Honestly, I can do stock Arch Linux and run something, but I don't know, I just like the way Monjaro sets everything up. And I'm more of a Debian person than an Ubuntu person. But the reason why I'm on Windows is simply because OBS just runs a crap ton better on Windows. It's optimized for it. It has a lot of features that the Linux version doesn't have due to licensing stuff. So that's why I'm on Windows. Eventually, probably between now and our meeting, we're going to reconfigure this machine to have VMs because there's going to be Linux stuff I'm going to be doing in the future. So having those virtual machines are going to be a godsend on this Windows machine. But right now, we're just going to use base Windows command prompt. I already installed I almost did a Freudian slip and said dick. I installed Git. Both are swear words, so why not? And it copied over from the GitHub, and it's made a folder called Libra, and now we're in there. So the next thing that we have to do is we have to check out the test net to make sure that the test net is actually up and running. So let's do that right now. So we switch now to the testnet branch on here. I should actually make this full screen. Yeah, we did the testnet branch on here. So we moved over from origin. We could do the same command back git check out origin in order to do the actual core system instead of the testnet functionality. And so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to install all the dependencies. So cross your fingers and hope this works. Yeah, it didn't work. I hope I don't have to go on a break here, because you can totally tell they designed this, which is my problem in the beginning, for Linux systems. So let's see. I'm actually curious about something. Do I have this installed? I don't think I do. Oh, I did. Okay. Let's actually go through here. Let's see if I can replicate the same thing here. So we actually might not be using a Linux terminal. Let's find out here. Okay. We're gonna use this. This basically replicates the Windows terminal here. So let's see what goes on. So we're recloning this again. So for now, I'm going to actually get rid of the command prompt. Actually, I'm just going to minimize it. I'll use that just in case. So just give it a couple of seconds. It's going to clone everything over and then CD itself in here. The reason why I don't normally use this is because Cywin sandboxes all of its stuff. So if I do it on here, I can't actually use Windows command prompt to go into Cywin. I have to use Cywin. So it's literally like, it's like North and South Korea, except for very recently, is that it has a wall containerized separation between the two. So once again, we're in the Libra folder, and we're now going to move over to the test branch, test net. So now we're in the test net, and now just as a provision, I'm going to sudo this. Hopefully nothing breaks. Now let's install the dependencies and see if this works. Because actually, if we list here, we have all this sort of stuff here, and let's double check. Yeah, it's in scripts dev setup sh. So if I remember correctly, we can actually go into, let's see here. What was the folder again? Because my brain's not working. Scripts and dev setup. So let's see, there should be S. Say scripts, yep. So if we cd scripts and list, there's the dev setup. So we're going to cd out of that, and we're going to cd back into Libra again. We're going to clear this for now. I'm just going to do the list so you can see the folders. And now let me put sudo in front of that. And we are going to now install the dependencies here. Okay. Let's just do this. All right, that just works. I need to trust the copying and pasting here. Except we actually got some errors. Let's see. There's some command line errors in here. Da, 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 da. Oh, man. Don't tell me I really need a VM for this. Because I'm about to go insane. Let's see. Script home. Yeah, I think the problem again is the sandboxing effect. I might have to bring in a rogue Sarasil. I'm going to bring in a rogue Sarasil. This should be a fun thing. So we're going to go be right back. And I'm going to get his advice on the matter because I have a solution idea, but I don't know if it's A, going to work, or B, it's going to be very pretty while we live stream. So enjoy the music for a little bit, and we should hopefully be right back with all the coding. So stay tuned. That's fine. Yeah, I wish I could join you. I probably will be because this is pricey. And we're back, everybody. So first thing I start with is thank you, Cell, who's literally like one of those like I was saying when the audio is off, it's like you just sprinkle Cell on something and it pretty much works. So thank you for much for that. It's not because I didn't know, it's because it's like you have like dead serious. It's like with our last stream, you have like super install abilities. So like normally VirtualBox would take like 5,000 years to install something, and you're just like 2 minutes done. Uh, to point how fast it did took, I actually was doing a race and I got up to 5 pins on the practice tumblers. Just doing that casually. Let's look in here. And yeah, okay, so we should have this, and it does capture the cursor, so neat. So yep. So let's try to do this again. Okay, so this is gonna be real fun. I hope you guys can hear me out there. And again, if you have any questions, this is the coding part. Let me know. So we're gonna go back to, oh yeah, I actually have to do that again. Hang on. So I'm actually gonna turn off the display capture temporarily, and I'm going to put the. Hopefully this will not kill everything. The fire fucks, as they call it. No, and I can actually I'm just gonna kill like pretty much all of these tabs because I don't need. This is way too much Libra, even for my Zodiac butt. Because I had to do all this to explain, and then we're going to get to the Wheel of Morality and the moral of the story. And this will actually probably be one of the shortest crypto barons I've ever done, to be honest, despite all this stuff we had to cover with Libra. And then we're going to. I actually overdid it. That's fine. I'll just get to the main page here. And then we will cover. We'll explain why Libra sucks, and then we're gonna rehost the Hope Conference and raid the Hope Conference. So let's do this here. Where did this go? Here we go. So now that we have a virtual of boxes, let's turn on the display capture and let's get to some coding. And if something fails, then this is truly Facebook's fault. So let's keep that going. So the first thing, like we did last time, is to we're going to clone. Trying to remember here. Oh no. Oh yeah, this is entirely in terminal. So I'm gonna actually type this all out. So now I'm gonna be like super programmer here. This will be funny. So first we're gonna clone the GitHub repo. So now I can't cheat. I actually have to type all of this. Because basically what that Cell did was he super fast installed default Debian in here. Oh. And yep, it's all working. Everything's working. And it basically only has it only has terminal. It's just base Debian, so it's just terminal. There's no GUI in this. I love it. It's like resolving deltas and all. I've been working out a lot, so all I hear and think of is like arm pectoral deltas. There we go. Just making sure the audio works there. And this is a VM, so it's going to be a little slow like last time, but yep, we just did that. And now we're in Libra. So now we're going to switch over to the testnet. So git checkout testnet. This is going to switch us over from origin. So now we're on the testnet. And because we are default and root, we're going to, and I showed you before, actually, let me show you again. So we're going to list, and we can cd into scripts, and then and there's the dev setup .sh. So we're going to cd out of that and cd back into Libra again. Oh, sorry. Oh, I see what's going on. cd home DC201 Libra. There we go. I'm going to clear list again, and now we're going to run this script. And this will install the dependencies. So yeah, it's going to install Rust, CMake, and Clang. Let's see. This is amazing. So let's try this. Wait a minute. Oh boy, hold on. Try this again. So we're gonna. This is all the stuff in here. Let's see. At your meeting in Journal City, do you have people who can teach Wi-Fi, pineapple, rubber duckies, Wi-Fi hacking? You're a computer science major. It's now that we're more meeting in person, as soon as we get money in, we actually are going to install a Pi Zero at the place, as well as work on a bunch of other. One of our goals this year is we want to do more physical hardware stuff. And what's been holding us back with a lot of the physical hardware stuff is that the fact that that's why we're talking about blockchain here, is that we're not meeting in person, but after we did social distancing, meeting in person outside, testing last time, now that we meet more in person, we're going to start doing the hardware stuff again. So I personally made myself a Wi-Fi pumpkin, and yeah, we can get into that. And some Wi-Fi hacking, that's not my specialty, but I'm pretty sure you'll encounter members who are good at that because we've talked about that in the past. So let's see. Let's see. Let's run this again. Let's actually see if we can. We're going to install these individually here. At least this one. Then we'll see if the other ones actually install. This is giving me major Arch vibes right now, where it's just like 80% of Arch Linux, I feel, is literally just dealing with packages and unpackaging and repackaging all day. It's like no wonder why there's so many gay Arch Linux users. All you're doing is staring and unzipping packages all the time. So let's run the script again. So. Okay, we're just going to do these individually, so. And next one, I'm actually going to put the -y in it because I keep forgetting. So I think there actually might be something with wrong with the way it. So the last one is Rust. I think there might be actually something wrong with the script that was supposed to make the dependencies easier. Let's see. I can't type. Huh. Cool. I'm gonna do some research now. This will be fun. Let's see what you need to do. Windows subsystem. Okay, I might have just been typing something wrong. Let's do. Actually, I'm already in sudo. Okay. Let's see. This is the unglamorous side of doing code. Let's see. All right, let's type this guy in. Hopefully that will solve everything. What? Let's try that again. see if I can do something in here. All right, let's figure out what type of spacing this thing has. Damn it. So it's one space. Got it. See, I would have already done this if I knew, but hey, at least you guys get to see me do this. Rest up. RS. Hmm. I didn't install curl properly. Let's double check that. So let's try that command again. There we go. I had to just upgrade it again in order to do one minor thing. So let's see. I'm just going to proceed with defaults here. Of course, there's a Rust-STD because I can't think of a better way to describe Rust than an STD. So again, if anyone has in chat has any questions about what I'm doing or anything, please let me know. Yeah, I'm now glad that I brought these lockpicks out for the keynote, but I was too invested in the keynote to actually pick locks. But now that we're like compiling and things, that's sort of it. So I guess while this is attempting to install here, what I will talk about is as it keeps installing STDs, I guess I'll get into a little bit what I was going to say at the end and explain why this whole Libra platform is a bad idea. Basically, Libra for Facebook is exactly what you would imagine Facebook would come up with. Let's see, cargo bin directory in a path environment. So we're going to run the which key is it? Probably doing something stupid, but okay, that worked, I guess. And I'm actually going to retype that down to keep that in mind. But all the dependencies should now be installed. I'm actually going to run that other script again just to make sure. Although, let me type this down quick just in case I forget anything. So, let's see. Oh. How low can I make this? There we go. Source home cargo /env. Just in case I forget, I at least have that there. So let's see here. Right, and then okay, we have a bit more here to finish with Rust, so we're gonna do where's the squiggly? Here's the squiggly. Okay. Now we're building the essential stuff. Okay. And let's see. Let's do a test just to make sure. Let's run this test up to see if we actually properly installed it. Let's do a okay. Now we're in Rust test. I'm gonna open up Nano here, provided it actually has Nano. Might not. It actually does. Let's do a Rust program here. I'm gonna initiate main. I'm trying to, it's a little tricky always with me with spacing. I think that is a one, that's one space, right? Yeah, it's one space. Good. Actually, let me look at something here. ENV. I'm actually just going to keep this page up in the future. So yeah. Print line. Oh, this is why I hate Rust, because it's like way too many commands just to do, way too much to type just to do something simple. Hello, DEFCON 201, or oh, let's go back, put the number back in, because now it saved it as a string. No, there we go. And now we are going to close that out, same bracket. I'm going to close that out, and then we're going to save, which I believe is, let's see, Control S, yes, and that's the file name. Okay, so we're back in here, so I'm going to clear everything. Now let's test it. So we're going to make an executable. And then once it's completed as an executable, see, this is why I hate Rust, because normally, like, Python just immediately reads things as Python. You don't have to, like, and even if you make it executable, you make it as, like, a Linux executable with the usual, like, X plus or, the X plus C or X plus A or whatever, and it's done. You don't have to do all this crap. You can totally tell this is Facebook designed because they use Rust, aka an overly flowery, complicated language. The only thing that beats it, in my opinion, is Swift from Apple in order to do their entire system. So again, if anyone has any comments or questions about what I'm doing here, that we were set out to do Libra stuff, but I just installed dependencies, so this became a quick how to install Rust really fast on Linux lesson. We're going to do that here, so. Yep, so it all works. So let's CD out of here. Let's CD into home DC 201 Libra. And then we list, and we have all that in there. Now, we're going to go back to the Libra stuff. And just to double check, we're going to run that command again. So we installed Rust and Clippy, which should be in there, and then CMake and Clang. I'm just going to say yes, see what happens. So it's already installed. Clang's already installed. So now we're going to just build. So source, root, cargo, env. This is why it's such a crappy language. Cargo build. So I'm just going to rebuild that to update the indexes. And then once we have that, we can actually do the test for this. Yay! And if I remember correctly, everything should happen within terminal. So we're going to find out. Because last time I did this, as the little house peen keeps elongating in the terminal, this should work. I feel both like the most elite person that I got this to work. I mean, Searcell did the install for the Debian, thankfully, but I both feel elite for solving the whole scripting thing, and also feeling really stupid because it's like I'm literally just like typing, copy, pasting, and this is so much. So all those crates were built, we're building, now we're compiling. So again, if anyone, I'm going to quickly check OBS again and click back. If anyone has any questions about what I'm doing here right now, just as a recap, I originally thought I could do this in Windows or at least Cywin, and then it turned out that nope, it truly needs Linux, and we hadn't like put like the VM stuff properly on here yet, the virtual machine stuff. So basically, Siricel did his used his wizard hands, which note to the ladies, note how fast and easy he installed Debian from scratch. Uh, that's just him installing Debian. Now imagine all the other stuff he can do with his hands. So just keep that in mind. But if you have any questions, so like I said, so what I do is I installed the dependencies. It needed CMake, it needed Rust, and it needed uh, Clang. And so I'm doing that, and we're just like finishing up the proper Rust install here, and then we should be able to, as I'm like picking locks, I'm like combining massive unlocking with crypto barons right now. And once this is done, we're gonna actually start running the testnet system. See, I just opened that. And if anyone has any questions about what I'm doing, and again, what we're doing is we're going over, this is Facebook's Libra. We're running the testnet code, which basically shows how it works. And what you're going to learn from this is that outside of using Rust and that it needs Linux, not that I don't hate that I hate using Linux or whatever. It's just in terms of this setup, like I should have thought of that in advance. To be honest, that's me being stupid. But what was I going with this? You're going to find out that in terms of its code, as far as I'm able to understand, it's actually really competent. The issue is what you're going to find out real quick is that the problem with Libra is not really its coding outside the fact that it's built in Rust, but its issue is the companies it's attached to. Facebook, the Facebook being a core one, the all the Libre Foundation partners, which are all like super capitalistic Merrill Lynch. In fact, at one point Merrill Lynch was involved type of stuff. Um, the world governments, which I'm going to get into, basically competing with it, and also Libre being so kind of so centralized, despite being supposedly a blockchain cryptocurrency, that now not only do companies basically want to get rid of it in order to make their own. It's like just really bad. This is just like a really bad idea, and I can't think of a better product description, better thing for Facebook of all things. Like if you imagine Facebook making a cryptocurrency, this is basically what you think it kind of is. And the sad part here is that I realized that at least on one of the streams here, um, that you're gonna have a hard time seeing this. I just want to double check because I want to see if I can somehow. Let's see. I don't want to do something stupid. I have no idea if Tyler is home. Because I'm very unused to via VirtualBox. I'm used to the other virtual machine system, so I don't want to like tank this now. Because I know you have a hard time seeing all this. That's why originally I thought I was trying to do this in like Cywin and stuff. But yeah, let's see. Oh, so um, let's see if I can make this better somehow, and hopefully I don't screw anything up. My question is what the heck is host F? Oh, right, CTRL. Okay. Let's do this. So the right CTRL and F will boot me out of this if I'm an idiot. I don't know if that changed anything. I think you guys might already have a hard time still seeing this. Yeah, you already have a hard time seeing this, so my apologies. Here's an issue I'm going to say out loud. I'm having an issue of I don't know how to make this bigger. Actually, what I might do is I might break OBS, and let's see if we can. I'm going to see if I can make the display capture bigger. That might solve some of the resolution problems. So as much as this looks really ugly, I'm going to see if this actually solves anything or not. So let's go back to here. Let's load this up and see how it looks. Just waiting for the delay. You can kind of see it better. I guess let's fully eat the stream here. Yeah, let's fully eat this stream, and pray for the best here, because I'm trying to get this to you guys as readable as possible. Didn't really do that much. Okay, you guys can see it better. So as much as this looks like we don't have like the background stuff, I'm still gonna do this. It's still building. Oh man, see, this is where I was hoping to like waste most of the time, but then we had to do all the VM stuff. So just bear with us here. I guess I'll ask the chat. Has anyone been watching Hope 2020? Because I've been after the keynote, I've been catching glimpses of it. Of course, I also saw the initial note there, and it was really freaking awesome. Tomorrow I'm going to do a lot more, particularly in the morning. I'm going to actually attend some of the workshops we suggested and stuff. I don't know if I'm going to stream them or record some of them so I could use pieces of it for our keynote stream, but it's pretty neat. So I kind of want to hear what everyone else is kind of doing, if anyone's in chat willing to talk, as this thing slowly builds. Actually, let's look at Task Manager here, because while I know the CPU is maxed out, actually, no, it's the memory is the CPU and memory are mostly fine now. It's just taking forever because it's goddamn Rust. Oh man, this is like the fun part. I'm actually debating now if I don't know if I should keep blabbing or if I should just put on like awesome music and let you guys do that as it builds. You know what? Actually, you know what we'll do? While it's building, provided that it doesn't kill this system, let's actually go to let's go see what's currently going on with Hope. That's the ticket. We'll see what's currently going on with Hope here. And then once it's fully building, we're going to actually set this up because everything else should go faster. It's just, again, this is what happens when you do things in Rust. So what I'm actually going to do here is I'm actually going to scale this back to the way it normally was before. If I can click this properly, display capture. And I'm going to we're gonna play some Hope Conference that might be airing, because I don't know or think if Radio Statler is airing. I wouldn't be surprised if they're just playing music now. And yeah, then we will once this is done doing its thing, we will and actually what I can do is I'm going to go back to I'm going to turn off the display capture and turn on the media source. And I'm going to make this full screen, and let's enjoy some Hope. And then as soon as it's done compiling, doing its building, we'll do the Crypto Barrons episode. So enjoy Hackers Got Talent, I believe, unless Jason's doing a keynote because I haven't looked at the schedule yet. So just enjoy some Hackers on Planet Earth. And then once this is done, we'll go back to normal business. It's right now at like 50%, so just give it some time, and let's enjoy some Jason of Scott's.
You're a co-host, right? You're my co-pilot, my concierge, my major domo.
I got your back, and more importantly, I could be your alibi someday.
Oh, excellent! That's just what I need. And then after that, we have a number of people who are listed. And so, are the three people I'm seeing right now contestants? I'm seeing Mouse,
Hello.
Comet. Hello, Mouse. I see Comet. Comet, are you a competitor, or did you just hacksaw the planet and get into the back room without telling anybody? Oh, Comet went. There you are.
Sorry, I just came in to observe, actually.
You're just an observer. Okay. All right. Get out of my face, buddy. All right. So that leaves Ken. Ken, are you a competitor?
Just an audience member.
Just an audience member. We have one competitor in the house right now. Oh, goodness.
The winner.
Oh, yeah, really. Talk about showing up right when it matters.
Well, let's all go home then.
Yep. Mouse, where are you out of right now?
I'm out of Jersey City, New Jersey.
Can you see Hope original location from where you are? Can you look
Barely.
at?
Yes, I
Yeah.
can. It's right.
Awesome. Just dark and quiet and waiting and hoping. Um, so I'm looking to see if anybody else is coming in, and if they're not, I am more than happy to seize the microphone while we wait, and then you and I can talk for just a little bit. Now, as you know, you and I believe, both attended another conference yesterday, which was normally a 5-day Apple II conference, and it's now a 2-day virtual conference like everyone else. So we got to talk about Apple IIs, and now we're pivoting to this. It used to be, and this has happened in the past with Hope, where I have attended that other conference, and then on Friday night, taken a plane, arrived early in the morning on Saturday, and then attended Hope. So the fact that I was able to just move my butt cheek about 15 degrees and be in a whole new world works for me. This, I'm all ready for it. I've been training to be locked down inside of a house with no hope of leaving it for all of my life. This
Not
was
only
it.
that, but 2020 started out with such promise, let me tell you. Because
Oh, yeah.
Hope and Kansas Fest were not supposed to date stomp.
It looked...
Yes, this was supposed to be next week, and we were going to just enjoy both conferences separately.
2020 was going to be a really nice menu.
Those words.
We haven't even gotten the bill yet for this meal. We don't even know. Everything is burnt. The waiters are cursing at us. I think the maitre d' punched out our dates. I mean, I think it's just really got that theme.
The guys coming over there waiting for us to leave.
But that perseverance, the perseverance of this crew to make this thing happen makes me just absolutely delighted. So I'm looking, I'm looking at it, man. You may have to, here's the deal. I may have to play the rule that the first in becomes the co-host and becomes the judge. And then we just say, hey, look, let's put it this way, Greg, I put this to you. I say stumble into the main presenter speech, the main presenter room on the Matrix, and just start grabbing homeless guys and putting them in the seats. I think we just that's it. It works for meetings. It works for movie sets. I think we ought to just do that. I mean, I think we just sit here, make Mouse my co-judge, and we just bring in whatever crawls in from the main area without knowing they were doing it.
Well, yeah, I mean, the thing I don't understand is we had 12 people sign up for this, and I think some people might be having trouble joining, but they're not contacting me. So maybe hopefully some people will join. And one person was trying to upload a video. So in other words, we might have some. Oh, that's you? Oh, is that you, Mike?
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay, so you're here.
God, they're using my government name on there. I had no idea. Oh,
I'm sorry about that. So the point is that I thought that you were two people, and I was going to tell Jason that we had at least two people, but it's really only one.
I can't believe you doxed Steven like that. No, he's actually everything. He is 7 kids in a trench coat. So that's just the way it works. You reach out to let me go see how the live stream's doing out there. I mean, I can look, I've had worse things happen in my life than be told that the microphone is open and there's nobody coming for me. And it's time for me to start talking away. For all the people out there who've never heard of me, my name is Jason Scott. My website that most people know me for is textfiles.com, which is a collection of BBS era text files, information files, and then later art and information. And I've been doing that for well over 20 years, based on the first 20 years of my life using modems, hacking, and standing, let's say, 5 to 10 feet from various hacker histories. Never really a big participant, just somebody that somebody could go into. Although the Cult of the Dead Cow book makes me seem like the linchpin of the organization at some point, but I think that's a lie. It's nothing to have an apartment when you're 24. So the place I currently work for is called Internet Archive, archive.org. We are the Wayback Machine, and it's there that I'm responsible for making terabytes of material come in every month from all over, and we've just been grabbing away. We're pulling in something on the order of 15 to 30 terabytes of data a day because life got pretty frothy and there was a lot to take copies of. So we're having a great time. We try to put up as much hacker material as possible. We try to put up as much computer history, and of course all of the other histories that are out there. You know, all those books and movies and music. So if you're somebody who hasn't ever used archive.org for the collections of materials, for the hundreds of thousands of magazines, technical and otherwise, going back 200 years that we have, for all of the digital information and stories that we've collected from both public access television and people who have uploaded literally millions of podcasts, you really ought to give us a chance. I see on the chat here right now that Victor says, nobody showed up. I'm half loaded or I'd fire up Zoom. When has being half loaded ever stopped anybody from wandering into a Hope Talk?
Especially this crowd.
And stealing. I mean, what I remember a couple times, we had people come in where I was like, you know, they were like, I guess I'm the show.
Whoa.
They just work to make themselves the show.
Uh-oh.
I mean, I've seen that, right? We've had some glorious characters come stumbling out of the darkness into this thing.
You know, Jason, I'm hesitant to do this, but you know, we kept the Zoom link a big secret all day today because we don't want to have Zoom bombers and you know, worry about interlopers and stuff like that. But this is we have one performance after this, but this is really the last regular event of the day. I can post the Zoom link in the Matrix chat, and it can really be an open mic. If you think you're ready for that, I don't know who's going to show up. If
you're comfortable with burning the Zoom and you've got the ban hammer ready, can you do the ban hammer?
Well, I mean, I can just press a button and mute people, and I can also press them and eject them. And if they're ejected, they can't get back again because that's what Zoom does these days.
You literally answered my question with a paragraph.
Yeah, I got it.
Like, can you do this thing? Yeah. As opposed to, oh, here are the things. That's like saying, can you give me a lift? Well, I'm capable of driving a car. And as the owner of a car near you, I'm capable of going to a wide variety of areas. Dude, just say yes.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah, I can do it. I got the ban hammer ready.
This is not on your head, but if you want to burn the Zoom, actually, let's here's our sanity checker, because you can see he's the voice of reason. JRWR, is it safe to just drop the Zoom link with the idea that it's never going to come back again?
The only thing I can think of is that there would be a slight not safe for work risk. You know, somebody along the lines of weird imagery and things like that may pop up on stream if you just allow camera immediately. So but I'll have my finger on the trigger finger for the transition because I'm running the AV console all day, so you can blame me for all the bad cuts that have been happening today. But
if you look,
I'll make sure to have that on standby.
Life is a series of calculated risks, and really, honestly, it's not my it's not my neck. I look beautiful. They're gonna walk past me and choke you out. Okay, they're gonna be like, "Oh, this pretty boy. He wasn't the ringleader. I mean, he's got a hat, like he's a top hat, but other than that,
How come I gave you a paragraph answer. The answer is yes or no. Okay, this is an open mic night. I just posted the Zoom link to the Matrix chat. This is only open to people that are registered attendees. It's not going out on the live stream. It's not, it's not open to the whole world. And
That's
only
perfect.
those attendees that figured out how to get into Matrix, which believe me is less than 50% right now of the Hope folks. So yeah, anyone that wants to join, go ahead and join. And meanwhile, I'm uploading this video that Mouse provided, and I think he actually was here on time, sent a video, and was doxxed at the very beginning. So probably we owe it to him to play.
Oh yeah, no, and he's one of my
he on time, unbelievable.
And he's one of my close friends, so he's already a winner. He's already won the game.
I would have already done this if there was a instrument at the conference.
Oh,
we would have been way past this now.
This is amazing.
What are you eating there?
I'm actually having the Sport of Champions Haribos.
Oh,
Oh no!
Oh,
Very
What
good.
gas station did you steal those from?
Excuse me, sir.
Jason, you got 5 or 6 now new contestants here. And
Oh,
everyone
wow.
everyone is unmuted. Please do us a favor and mute yourself, or I'll mute you, because otherwise we end up with feedback inevitably. And you can unmute yourself when Jason.
Honor among hackers. Okay, folks. JRWR, how many people are watching this mess?
More than 400.
Awesome. All I ask, I only have one honest thing to ask of the audience, which is please don't wear pants. This is your one time to really attend a major event without pants. And I need you to do that because you can say, yep, I went to the pantsless Hackers Got Talent. Where did you go to? Was everyone wearing pants? Oh, you missed a good one. All right. Well, let's just see let's see how these dreams go. Okay. Who is our first contestant in this wonderful thing? I see people pop in and pop out. Am I seeing that too? Is that happening?
Yeah, and that's why I don't know why. I mean, we had smooth sailing all day using Zoom.
What a
Yeah.
heart.
Not connecting.
It must be the Jason Scott curse. Okay. So let's start with Zonk. Zonk, come on to Hackers Got Talent.
Oh no.
Yeah, and everyone turn off your live stream, please, if you're in the Zoom room. The Zoom room, believe me, the Zoom room is much better than the live stream. I've been here all day.
It's my co-judge.
Hey.
How's
So,
it going?
hey Zonk. Hey Zonk, I see you're dressed for success. This is awesome. Okay. All right.
I'm in the middle of building some Christmas.
Wonderful. That is fantastic. Zonk, when you heard that that the time was here, that the time was for you to step up and give a talent, what talent came to your mind that you wanted to do?
Idea.
You have no idea.
I don't have a talent. I just wanted to fill the room.
Zonk, everybody has a talent. Not everybody has a great talent. Not everybody has a unique talent, but everybody has a talent. That's the magic of being assertive. Crown yourself the king of something. Look at just stepping forward into the fray, unaware of what's going to happen, is to me already a talent, although we're going to give you absolutely no prize for that. Instead, I'm going to say, is that a fan on you?
Yes, there is.
Okay. I was just wondering, it was either that or you're much prettier to me than I thought would have been the case. I mean, love comes anywhere, but through this low a bandwidth, I don't think so. Anyway, so what are you doing right now, please?
I am making some LED Christmas lights to put out for Halloween and Christmas.
Dude, right in front of us. This is the silliest thing I've ever seen. Aim that camera down, sir, and give us a quick show of your talent.
I mean, I wish I had my power supply. Right now I am just heat shrink. Getting this heat shrink to go with a soldering iron because I didn't bring my heat gun up here.
Is it possible to play music over the stream? My co-producers?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Give them a little music. All right, now Zonk, go ahead and make Zonk the thing. Give him a little quiet music there, Mouse. And
Happy Christmas in July.
Yeah, and then do it, and then let Zonk be the speaker. And Zonk, once again, with a musical background, tell us what you're working on. Let's just get that together. All right.
Display. Just more of a hunting display for my killer clowns from outer space setup that will be going out shortly. Let's see if we can get this thing powered on real quick. See if my soldering just worked, if I'm lucky. Hey, look at that. I have some lights.
The talent isn't a good Wi-Fi connection.
Wow.
No,
it is not.
I'm having a hard time trying to bring him in.
So, all right. Well, no. So I'm going to call Zonk's talent musical heat shrink. Musical heat shrink for Zonk. Okay, wonderful. Thank you. Come on, everybody out there, wave your pants. Thanks so much to Zonk for doing that. Zonk, it is quite obvious that the Fisher-Price satellite dish you're using to steal Wi-Fi from the pet shelter across the street is just not working out for you. I'm getting
Jason, do we
doing that. Zonk, it is quite obvious that the Fisher-Price
Yep.
dish you're using. Wonderful.
oh,
Somebody else
someone's
is.
playing. Yeah, you got to turn off your live stream.
Across the street is not working out for you. Oh man! All right. So after that echo chamber. Well, anyway, thank you very much, Zonk. You can just like I said, you can totally turn off your thing and wait. Just wait quietly. Let's go on with the next person.
Jason, are we grading as we go, or what are we?
No. We're gonna get our list of contestants. We're gonna figure this out. We're gonna call.
Right.
It's basically, it's not even first come first serve. It's better name over other names. So
But we do have the movie that Mouse provided is ready, so you can call on that whenever you want, and we'll.
Okay.
We'll play it
Well,
up.
Mouse is now my musical co-host. He has ascended beyond heaven. I mean, we can play his thing at the end or play at the beginning of the next show. I want this guy at my side. He's my lieutenant on this little thing. Let's see. RPI Gooey Gluey. What?
It's technically pronounced RPI guy. So like if you think about it, like Raspberry Pi, right?
Yeah.
You guys have used the Raspberry Pi, I assume.
Okay? So you're speaking with one of those accents that has authority behind it. An accent of adventure. Where are you from, buddy?
Yes, it might sound like that, but I live in Connecticut. So yeah, it's the only adventures going into New York right now, right? Because of the COVID dungeon that waits for you.
I need to hear more about how you have the adventure accent out of Connecticut, because that is not a Connecticut accent. I guess I'm in Hudson Valley right now.
Yeah,
I've never heard that going to Trader Joe's.
Yeah. So my accent's probably more 1620 rather than 2020, right? Yeah, it involved an adventure from England to various parts of Europe to Canada to Boston and then to Connecticut.
Yeah. So once again, all you guys, you tell me what the current status is without telling me that it led all the wonderful things that led up to it. So yeah, you've been a world traveler all your life.
Yeah, something
excellent.
Like
that. do you have a video camera, or is it going to be?
It's not working right now, unfortunately.
Okay. All right. I will emotionally work past that and instead say, what talent do you have, RPI guy?
I suppose I don't have a talent, but I do have an experience of being at Hotel Penn for several years. So have explored some of the abandoned floors there, the roof, the mysterious parts of Hope, which many people may have not been to, who are now listening to the live stream.
I think these days we qualify that as fan fiction of a thing that never happened. I believe so, because otherwise that dude, the legendary dude with the bat will find you.
Yeah, the bat dude, right?
The bat dude. Exactly. Boy, the amount of people who have thought that bat dude refers to a superhero and then they meet the real bat dude. Anyway, so I guess so then your talent, sir, is storytelling.
It may well be, yeah.
Okay, then do this. In your mind right now, you had an idea for this story that you were like, oh my God, give us that one. Give us the one that makes everybody around you go like this. Ah! That's the one to lead with. Give us that one. Make it as short as you want.
It would be the morning when I woke up and thought, after a night of heavy drinking and partying at Hope, I'm going to take a shower. And then I turned on the shower.
Mistake.
And yeah, first
We
mistake,
actually have
the
the
shower
volume
backed
off,
up.
so
It was
that
like
way
something
you
out of
guys can
Shining.
watch like the
And this
stuff
was
as it's
Hotel Penn,
happening.
of course.
Of
Right,
course.
and the bathtub started to
Explaining
bubble
to the chat,
and fill up
we actually
with
have the
a
volume
brown
off so
liquid,
that you
which I
guys can
think
watch
came
the
from
Hope
the floor
stream.
above.
I
Of
found out you
course,
can
the
actually
mistake
run
I
the
made
VMs
was
separately
thinking
as
that
a Windows
eventually the
element
bathtub
in
would
OBS.
drain.
So
But
I have it up
having
here
left the
because you
hot
can
tap
kind of
on,
see the
the
progress bar
steam
down
filled
here.
the
We
room,
are
which then set
under,
off the fire
we are
alarm in Hotel
over
Penn.
2/3 from
So
this
then I'm
finally
calling the
compiling.
front
Once it
desk,
compiles,
asking them to
it'll be really
turn
quick to
off the
finish up
fire
this
alarm.
episode. So just
In which
enjoy the
case,
insanity.
eventually
That
they
streak
did
is
it,
stop
but
barely
they
keeping
didn't
it
fix the
together, and
problem,
stay
which was
tuned.
my bathtub looked like a vision of hell. Eventually it drained and I left the room, and my buddy told me that the rat had run across the room plus cockroaches. That to me is the quintessential Hope experience from the last 20 years, is that it's like a wildlife refuge in New York. When you go into the hotel, you never know what you're going to meet, right? Obviously it's a hacker convention, but it's also a bit like a safari, depending which floor you go to. And then the abandoned floors, if you ever take the freight elevators down there, that's like something, out of The Shining.
Fantastic.
Or
All right, look, I'm going to call that. No, this isn't a panel on the pen, because we all know what the pen is.
Exactly.
His talent was very specifically give me a hot steaming pen story, and we got that exact thing.
Exactly.
Okay, because otherwise I'll sit here and I will talk about the horrors that befell my eyes, and everyone can do that. That's part of the pen experience.
It is.
Yeah, I mean, rip to those guys, but I'm glad we found somewhere else that was willing to take us, and it would have been awesome, and it will be awesome again. All right, well, thank you very much, RPI guy.
You're welcome.
Mute yourself out and wait for testimony and discussion. Okay, let's go over to I'm going to go with you know who's been waiting forever on this thing was Cameron.
Hello,
Cameron. Hey, Cameron. Do you
Can
have
you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Do you have a video? Or
I
is it
don't.
just
I'm
you?
not trying to be funny. I do mobile development, and I'm on a Mac Mini. I just got that's running Mac OS 11, so I have not bought a webcam for it yet. So
I will emotionally work through the fact that
you
you're
can
using a
understand
Mac
that
Mini.
just getting onto the stream in general is a miracle.
Oh
in
yeah, no.
2020.
This is just fantastic. You took tin foil, put a chicken
Mhm.
inside of it, and hung it out the outside of the
Yeah,
ship they're
yes.
holding you on without any cause.
Exactly.
I know how
100%.
this is. All right. Well, so Cameron, what talent did you feel you wanted to come on here with, besides
So-
hubris and lack of self-awareness?
I would like to say that I have studied a lot of your work personally and been part of the hacker community.
Buttering up
unknowingly
judges is
for
always
years.
acceptable.
No. I would tell you that I am a mobile application security person who
Okay.
should be a 10-year graduate of college, but our reunion was canceled. And I spent my entire 4 years doing college radio during the time of podcasting, coming up into something. So when I was in college, I interviewed Steve Wozniak about the founding of Apple.
Mm-hmm.
And I did radio, and I think I was actually in college radio during the transition of podcasting becoming a thing. In fact, I've never been to Hope. This is my first one. I finally decided this was the year. And
Perfect.
I actually was this whole stream got me Googling myself, and I might have actually done a live video cast of the first college radio show morning podcast I could find recorded in internet history. You would know better.
I
In
would
fact,
love.
I
So-
actually did a charity stream of video gaming that's probably on archive.org in 2008 that was predecessor to Twitch and Justin.tv. So I raised a couple $1,000s playing through 4 3D Zelda games in one weekend from my college dorm, something that'll never happen ever again due to COVID. And clearly charity streams and gaming and Twitch. Actually, the guy who was the CEO of Twitch told me to use, Justin.tv CEO, Michael Seibel, said, hey, why don't you try Justin.tv? And then they became Twitch. So I have a weird history of being part of podcasting and hacking and college radio. And I learned more about hacking through college radio than I ever would have imagined, and now do it full time as a job, I think.
Okay, well, allow me to Occam through this.
Yeah, that's a lot for
story
even
time
you, right?
thicket.
That's a lot for you.
No, it's not too much for me, but it's a lot for a talent contest, which matrix spin around you are standing on the stage of.
Yes.
So is your talent, I've lived a good life?
No, I think actually my
The
talent has
deathbed
been.
confession?
I think I'm still hopefully not. No, I think Actually, one thing that's always drawn me to the archive and to Hope and 2600 has been I didn't understand the power of radio until I went to college. And in fact, 2020's taught me anything. Radio will never die because it's independent.
Radio is very, very hard to kill.
People have been trying for millennium at this point.
Well,
I'm joking, but no, I think
you took two helpings from the buffet on that one, buddy.
No, but you know what I'm saying. I think radio is something that everyone thinks is always dead, and this is proving this is talk radio. It's still alive and well in 2020.
Absolutely. Although, again, this isn't radio. You're in a talent show and you're at a hacker convention. But
yeah,
listen,
I just joined the
so
Zoom.
first, buddy, first. I will say first, thank you for being so nice to me. Thank you for acknowledging that history is neat and for being part of it and for wanting to tell that story. I am going to happily say that if you want to ping me on mail and
no, I was gonna say I almost hacked a car today, but I won't talk about that one on stream yet. I'm still working on it.
Okay.
Oh, you can't just tell us you're going to hack a car and then not tell us about it.
I can't actually talk about that one for my job. But no, I work in industrial automation right now. So I do PLC work, and I do HMI work, which is a emerging tech. But there's nothing there. I just wanted to call and say hi. I jumped on the Zoom. I actually just got home and just got set up on the thing, so I just joined. So I'll go offline and take it to somebody else.
Okay. We love you and we appreciate you've come to Hope.
Yeah.
And please track us down to talk about stuff. But
no, I wanted to I was trying to join the stream because I saw you're taking people and I actually just got the chat set up. So so I'm going to go mute, but thanks for adding me anyways.
I'm going to I'm giving you a talent. Your talent is most gracious Zoom bomb ever.
Thank you.
All right. Bye-bye.
Later.
Yep.
Okay, let's move.
I love the musical interludes. That's so good. We need more of that. The musical interludes were the best part of the show last year.
Let's move on to, I think, David.
Here I am.
Hello, David. David, I assume also you have no webcam.
You know,
one of these days, someone's going to turn on.
Short supply. You know, I tried to buy one recently.
Someone's going to turn on their webcam.
It broke.
Someone's going to turn on their webcam at the show, and we're all going to be like, "Oh!" So I know I'm really poking the bear on this, but let's stick with what we got. So, David, thank you first of all for coming with no notice. And what is your talent? Do you feel?
I don't know, but ask me a question. Hurry, someone.
What is the deadliest element? The element of surprise. Okay. All right. Anything else? You got any other one, man?
Well, I have great internet. I have excellent internet. I haven't dropped out once.
That's okay. So you understand. Okay. I feel like we've been really poor at saying hackers got talent and then people really misunderstanding what the term talent means.
No, my talent is I came in here with no talent and I made at least 4 people laugh. Okay. I even think Snowden cracked a smile.
Okay, so we're gonna go with comedy. All right, so in the idea of fairness, I'm going to once again credulously throw you a few more straight lines so you can dunk me, and I want to have that come out of you. So, in your opinion, man, what makes a hacker a hacker?
Always thinking hard.
It's those fast reactions. That's what happens. Every millisecond counts.
No, it's that stupid space bar. It's a space bar sometimes. I say it's curiosity.
All right. Okay.
And LEDs apparently, because 2 people in this room are dealing with LEDs right now.
That's exactly right. LEDs are
LEDs
the vitamin C of hacking.
Yes.
Without them, your bones get brittle. You get weird. You feel bad, and you die on the sea. You die out in sea. You get scurvy.
And great Wi-Fi.
Exactly. All right, David, I'm putting you down for comedy. Thank you very much. Let's go now to where is Kurt? Hello, Kurt. Where is Kurt? This is your moment to come on stage. Kurt right now is just.
Oh, Jason, I have bad news for you. I had a private message from Where is Kurt, and this is he's simply standing in as Flat Ed Snowden. He's has no capability to communicate.
Oh, if you want, Scott, I'll tell you about the hat.
Wait, one moment. No. You're on the no. Employees and staff of the contest can't enter the contest, buddy.
That's only fair.
Next time, hijack something and talk about your damn hat. Okay. I'm going to put. Where is Kurt? I'm going to put down his talent as the silence of the grave. Okay. So, if you can beat the guy who is completely. Anyway, so. If I will give you this though, of course, if you want, JRWR, do you want to give people the address to Hatchan? How do you get to Hatchan?
Well, you have to be local, so you'd have to be in Rochester to get to Hatchan.
So really, this is like a science fiction thing. First, you have to travel to Rochester, and then you have to find the signal for Hatchan, and then you have to
give you GPS coordinates. But
Rochester, what? New Mexico?
New York.
New York.
I'm just north of Jason.
Take back to biblical times, 1823.
Just tell people it's Rochester, Saskatchewan. All right. Anyway, let's move on. Or do we have to? Can we move on? Let me just quickly look. I don't think this is astounding to me. There are no. Can you imagine rolling out the red carpet of the Zoom link in the main channel? And then people saying, you know what? Nah, geez, it's getting on 10:34. I can't really wake the missus by going to sleep tonight. I can't make the guy roll out of the way in bed when I finish going to this thing. 10:30 it is. Damn, maybe I can just roll up the evening news and hear all the great things that have happened in the world while going to sleep quietly on my cloudy pillow. I want to remind people you have a unique, once-in-a-lifetime advantage. We don't know what we're doing. We haven't closed the gates. We haven't figured everything out. This is your moment to strike. This is fundamental hacker ethic and approach. You walk up to the person at the door that has the $50,000 lock and you say, I'm with Jim. And they go, cool, Jim, come on in. And the $50,000 lock falls aside. Next thing you do, you give a talk about it and somebody gives you a few dollars for telling people that you were able to tell a guy you were Jim. So this is your moment. This is your moment to grab. It's so, and you know, because if not, we're going to talk about Hatchan. I mean, right now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think at the current rate, we're going to have to call it at 10 contestants. So really, honestly, you only have a little bit more time to be able to jump in. How many people are watching us right now?
I'll see what it says, but Jason, I'll tell you that I just threatened the Matrix chat. I said that if more people didn't join, that you would taunt them again.
Oh my goodness. Well, I mean, I love the opportunity to come to Hopes. I love Hopes very much. I've tried my best to go to every single one that I have been able to make the time or the budget. I love attending these things. And so one of the nice things that's happened in the last few years is giving speeches and then also doing Hackers Got Talent. But I will also say that Monday through Friday of next week at 1 p.m. Eastern is I'm going to have a Radio Statler show. So for 1 hour, I'll be interviewing somebody, probably one person every single day. And it's called After Lunch with Jason Scott. And what I love most about all this was when they were trying to find a slot for me, I was saying, could I do it during the day? Maybe that would be kind of a good time to do it. And they were like, you mean the graveyard shift? You know, like, 1 p.m. is when everyone's like, oh man, who's going to take that slot? So 1 p.m. is going to be my, So
you did get one more person joined there, Jason.
Hello, Leah. Leah or Lee?
Leah.
Hi, Leah.
So I kind of have a talent. My talent is my dog. Should I go get her?
Is possessing a dog? Or is
she does tricks. So she has talents. I don't have any talents.
Oh, well, no, your talent is being able to get the trick. Every dog has a trick inside of them, but not everybody can get that trick out of them.
Leah, your
Okay.
talent is having a webcam. You're the only contestant with a webcam.
That's reasonable.
That works.
Yeah, go ahead, Leah. Go.
Okay, I'll go get her.
Fetch the pooch. Okay.
By the way, we're up to 378 viewers.
This has gone exactly how I figured it would. This has been perfect. This has been a crystalline, fantastic time.
This is how it goes on stage too. This is real.
Yeah, this is
authentic.
Well, usually on stage, I would be able to take the time in between the motions to provide hacker names to people, right? And so for the last couple of Hackers Got Talent, I would go into the audience in between while we.
I think I see an emerging talent. Somebody is solving a Rubik's Cube.
And so then I would just come running in and I would, immediately give people hacker names. But we can't do that here because everybody's out in the world. So I see Lee's there. Leah.
Yeah.
And let's have her be the speaker and we'll go from there.
Cool. Okay, it's not that. Don't expect too much talent.
What is the dog's name?
But let's see. What are the things you want to do, Trixie? Can I have a high five? No? High five? Thank you. Other high five? Oh, good girl. There you go. Can you roll over? Trixie, sit. Down. 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 Okay, roll over. Roll over. Roll over. All the way. Oh, almost. Close enough. That's
Close
it.
Enough. That counts. What's the dog's name?
Thank you. Her name is Trixie.
Trixie.
Yeah.
Trix.
She is not a hacker, but she has talents.
Let's put it this way. We gave hackers a link to smash to become famous, and they couldn't do it. You held up your hand, and the dog knew what to do.
There you
go. I know what we're dealing with here. I know what kind of. I'm telling you. Today is the beta. Today is the early access beta. People just are kind of understanding that the world's a little different and they're trying their best to get around it. So thank you so much, Leah. Stay on the line, of course, and mute out, and we'll see if we can get one or two more people to jump into the fun. So let's see. Anybody else stop by? I saw my buddy Freakout came out. So I'm happy that he stopped in, but I'm sure he didn't want to be in the talent show, or maybe he does. His talent is being able to tell ridiculous stories about me, but his talent is also that he's just a really fantastic guy. I look forward to seeing him every year I can.
If we wanted more, I could always drop the Zoom link in the DEF CON Discord.
Dude, we're not that thirsty. This isn't like somebody scored an incredible couple cases of cool stuff, and we know we can't have it all to ourselves, and we have to just run around, and we're driving around in our minivan with the windows down going, hey, you want a drink? Okay, this isn't Rochester, dude. This is the big time. This is the big
I'm
life.
a solutions man, okay? I am here to provide solutions.
You are absolutely here to provide. Now, just to remind people, just what we've been doing up to this point, Zonk has been here with Musical Heat Shrink, RPI guy with Penn Story, a Pennsylvania hotel story, Cameron with the most gracious Zoom bomb ever, David with his comedy, Where is Kurt with the Silence of the Grave, and Leah with Trixie's Trick. So we got a lot here. These are all people who did 90% of success is just showing up. You win, you lose every contest you don't get into, and you lose every contest you never show up for. So come on, people. I understand, though. I understand that the incredible first day of hope and adjusting to all the different things, to Dr. O's speech, to the workshops, to all of it going on at once, and understanding Matrix and really becoming aware of it all. That may have left you addled. You may have then seen the sun gone down and gone, well, that's enough for me. That's enough for me. Why don't I just go outside and take a short walk with my mask on and think about what I've learned today? Maybe I'll be able to turn this into something very useful for me. And then when you get back, it's hot out or it's cold out, and you're just like, ooh, boy, if I could just cook myself up some macaroni and cheese and just go for a quiet rest. And remember, it's always best, hackers, to eat something really huge and full of calories and then go right to sleep. I mean, right to bed. Stop that combustion in its tracks. Keep that stuff forever. Store those calories. That's because you're going to need them in the coming apocalypse. Just, I mean, spoiler alert. You're going to want calorie dense foods, and you're going to want to make sure that you have a clear view from all cardinal directions wherever you place camp each night. So other than that, I mean, you're pretty much on your own. But I want to tell you, that's probably your, I probably just saved you. I saved your family for like 2 or 3 more days, more than you would have gotten. So you're welcome. You're welcome. Anybody else coming in? I don't think so, man. I'm stunned. Did you drop it? You dropped it in where?
In the Matrix chat.
In the which Matrix chat? Which channel?
It's the one for attendees only, so we're not putting it out on Discord, but it's called Live Stream Session Q&A.
Yeah, I would say drop it in performance and contests, or is that a private one?
No, I can, but I don't think there's a lot of action in there, but I certainly can.
I mean, people are responding in there as much as they're responding elsewhere. I mean,
well, you're right. I can do that.
I'm just looking for love in all the wrong places. Somebody is definitely sharing their screen on the thing, by the way. Congratulations.
That's nice. I will find that link once again.
Oh, Cameron, you hacked the planet. You decided to, in fact, use screen sharing to replace your face. Okay, I get it. We've all been there.
Basically, we took all that time, and our VM ran out of space. So I'm now going to go for the ultimate backup plan. I will be right back. Just continue to watch all this stuff because it's hilarious.
With Photoshop, I actually didn't know I could get this to work right now. So I don't know. I'm just
I'm gonna do this for you. Let me do this instead, just because I want to keep this.
Yeah, I just figured it out, so you can kill me.
No, I get it. No. Stick with me. So one of the things we had decided was that among the prizes being here, we're going to choose the top 3. Okay, so that the top 3 will come to next week as well and perform. So they'll have the slot open. It's whatever they call it in the reality shows. They get the the golden ticket onto the next round or whatever. But it's not really that. It's just more second time. I'm going to just give you a free pass for taking that extra effort, not being a jerk. So what I want you to do,
I'm gonna have to figure out how to stop doing this. That's the hard part. But yes,
I want you to cook up a talent, cook up this show, cook up this piece here, and come back to us next Saturday when it happens.
Oh yeah, that's
okay?
fine. I will do that. Cool. Yeah, I have to figure out how. I didn't actually know I could do this live, so I will mute and try to stop sharing this.
Okay, so I'm going to put that right over there. I see we have a number of people coming in and then sneaking out again because they're afraid. Neurosis, hello.
And we'll see how this
Don't be afraid.
So give me a couple of minutes.
Jason doesn't bite. I know.
You have Tweed, you have Matt Morris, and you have Cindy Moya.
Yeah.
Of whom are new.
So I'm gonna. Okay, well, Cindy, come on in. How you doing there? Cindy, you just I can hear you're moving around. Is it a case of you're
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Absolutely.
I can hear you.
Yeah, man. I got a skill, man. This is my first hope. This is the most awesome conference. I love the stuff with the Tesla coils that were like going.
Are you so are you now with your? I should point out that Cindy and I are pals. Are you still in the U.S.? Are you going to working? You're working out remote now.
Well, I'm still in the U.S., but I'm working for Melanie Swalwell.
Yep.
At the Center for Transformative Media Technologies at Swinburne University of Technology.
Yes. For the people at home who don't know, Cindy was a badass archivist at the Living Computer Museum in Seattle, and was an incredible host, an incredible joy to spend time
Yeah,
with.
yeah. I am echoing on this thing, but my talent is I am more badass than you are, Jason. Just you wait.
Okay. So your talent is your talent is third act turnaround, dominating me in my own space. Is the best is yet to come, which I know, by the way. I'm all hat, no cattle. We know this. So,
well, I don't have as good a hat as you, but maybe dominating is not a good idea.
Well, look. All I know is you were a treasure. You are a treasure, and I was so glad to have you, to spend time with you within the realms of the confines of the organization, because it was wonderful to see everything that was going on. So let's see.
And my husband is here too. You remember him?
I do.
Jason.
Hey, buddy, how you doing?
How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. I'm dressed up like a fine dandy on a beautiful Saturday night, and I'm having a good time doing it. It's a what do you call it? It's pretty weird thing they're doing here, because the previous hopes have all been actually in person, and they were going to switch to a new location, and then we ended up having to move it all to the internet. So, all right. Well, I mean, Cindy, if that's it, that's cool. I will just put
Look,
down.
you dudes are rocking here, man. I just can't imagine and how great this is. Thank you so much.
No problem.
Pleasure.
I'm putting your talent down as badass.
So far,
Okay,
on my
so
personal laptop, it's going good. Hopefully, within the next 5 minutes, I'll be able to have something to show for you. The only issue is I'm gonna have to point my webcam on it, like we're running, like we're like in some third world country on Facebook gaming. So
What's
just
your talent, Tweed?
keep a hold here.
So like Leah,
I'm redoing the installer now.
And I consider myself to be a talented mid-level manager. So I like to show my associate here. I'm going to show him just how well I can.
Basically, he's making everyone deaf.
But he's going to do some tricks for you.
Probably hates your
and Leah, this is not meant to be competitive. Maybe it is, but so if you wouldn't mind, I'd like to demonstrate my excellent managerial skills.
Okay, go for it.
All right. You ready, Julian? This is Julian. He's a dog. Come here. Jump. Jump. Here. Go. Speak. Speak. That's right. Say hello to the camera.
Oh my God, she has a stripper pole in her room. Is that going to be part of the talent?
All right, and then
Because that fits in with the rest of my friends, so we're gonna find out. I think she's just doing dog
Okay.
voice, but like, if you have a pole in your room, that means you know how to use it. That's not for the dog. Although I'd be really impressed if the dog can actually do stripper pole stuff. That would be amazing.
Well, he can put his toys elsewhere, so that that's as good as can be expected.
I will count the shifting of matter as something within. So I'm going to put you down for Julian tricks. We got Trixie tricks
Unlike
and
before, we're like
Julian
over
tricks.
halfway installing Rust now. I
We
just
had
enter my
something,
password
and
on his personal
unfortunately,
computer.
maybe Greg remembers, but
So
maybe
worst comes to worst, I'm gonna have to point the camera at the screen.
There was one year
and
that
do
we had
everything
like
else
2 people with the
like
was it
this.
juggling?
Yeah,
Did we have
apparently.
3 jugglers.
I'm not in the Hope chat
There
right
was
now. Otherwise, I'd be
twirling
bringing it up.
like
We can
things
see
that
if we
you
can get
twirl
into the
with
Hope
lights.
chat. That'd be hilarious.
Yeah, we had
So not
multiple
sort
light twirls.
of juggling, but
So we-
more like
Like it's not even like a
we have an
sexy girl
absolute
thing. Like if she
precedent
was a guy,
for
notice that
people
too,
having
sort of
very
like,
similar
here you are showing
tricks
tricks with your
and
dog,
very
and
similar talents
you not just
showing
have
up
a
together.
pole
You are not
installed,
competing with
you
each
have
other.
it
You're
installed
just
roof
competing
to ceiling.
with everybody.
Meaning
So
you are
very
dedicated
much
at this.
Tweed.
You
Hang
don't even
around.
have a
We'll
temporary
see
prop
where
up like
this
some
is
of my
going to
friends
go.
have. You built
At
that
the
into
current
your
rate,
house.
I doubt we're going to make
So
it past
it's
the
like,
first hour. Let's
hello.
see. What was the person we thought we were going to jump on to? Oh, did they run away? They ran away. They did not run away. What am I looking at? Okay, no, I'm not. I guess it's going to be Gene then. Gene,
Hey, how's it going?
how you doing?
I can't really compete with the dog. I was going to see if I could like pick a lock, but I don't know where my lock picks are. But let me see. I can play up to 4 chords in a guitar.
I mean, you've described two things and are going to be able to do one. So you are perfect for the tech industry, I might add.
I can play up to 4 chords in this thing, completely separate chords, not the same chord 4 times.
Okay.
So
okay, let's see the magic.
I'm sure that's something. Oh, that's a Bob Dylan song, isn't it? Or is that just every song? It could just be every song. There you go.
All right, so I'm going to put you down as accidentally writes Bob Dylan guitar song.
There you go.
Excellent. All right, so let's see. And then we got Illuminator. Yeah, Illuminator is going to be our final because I'm putting it at 10. I'm putting it at 10 competitors.
That I mean that gives me some pause. I'm not sure if I want to be that one.
No, dude. You know what they call the guy who graduates with the lowest degree at medical school?
No.
They call him doctor.
Oh,
and so
I'm a doctor.
So the point is, even if you're the last through the door, even if you think you weren't sure you brought anything, you were the 10th person out of 400 to take the time to enter the contest. So
that's fair.
You're not. So don't think of yourself as having tricked anything. You literally won more than 390 people. That
Johnny
is
Linux
that's
570. I'm sorry that
you know they always think like, can you take
stuff while I try to deal with
105-year-old
terrible
or whatever?
wrestlers.
You
But
took
thank you
on
for following us.
390
We'll actually get back to coding actually pretty
lazy
soon, as far as I
hackers who
can
couldn't be
see.
bothered to get their Zoom link running. So, boom, baby. Although, again, shout out to the no doubt 50 to 75 of them who didn't do it because of some bizarre interpretation of the technical background of Zoom that fills them with horror, dread. And once you get them started on it, you'll have to go through 3 club mates to hear exactly their position on it. So I don't count those 70, but great love to you. Something. It's not a, it can't, it must be a conspiracy. All right, go ahead, man. What is your talent in your opinion?
Well, if we were live, normally my talent would be either doing some karaoke or doing, if the chiptunes concerts were happening live, I would probably be trying to jump in and play with the light board again, which was what I had fun with about 4 years ago. But
do you have your light board here?
Huh?
You have your light board here?
No. The light board that was running the lights at the concert.
Oh, I see. You were able to hop in and do lights. I get it.
Yeah. So that was fun. So I think my talent is talents that don't play well over Zoom.
Talents that don't play over Zoom is your talent. Talents that are invisible to Zoom is what you're saying. Invisible,
something like that.
All right. So I'm thinking invisible Zoom talents. All right. Interesting. So the actual absence of talent on Zoom, but in your opinion, still able to show talent outside of Zoom. So it's as if it's like that little part of your eye where when you stare at this, like that letter disappears because of the optic nerve. That's where your talent lies, is right there. So once the Zoom eyeball looks this way, it just can't see your talent. I think that's what we're talking about here. That's what
I think so, yeah.
Like.
And if the Zoom eyeball ever got there, that would be amazing. But
okay,
yeah.
So all right. Well, no, you know what? Like I said, you're in. I'll always remember this, and I've tried to do this whenever I have an opportunity. I think it was a ShmooCon. I'm fairly sure it was a ShmooCon. Where Mitnick was there, and he was just in for a short period of time. Like he was just doing a quick in out, but he knew some people and he knew some of the organizers, and I know these people. And some kid was talking to me, and he was very young, 10 or 15 years younger than me at the time. And they were like, "We're gonna go have a quick meal with Kevin over in the in like the restaurant that this hotel had." And I was like, "Hey, you want to come along?" And the look on his face was like, "Okay, I guess." And he came in and he sat down and he was just quiet the whole time, but he's just looking around like, "I'm having a meal with all these people." And it was just, you could tell, you could just sense that for him, for everyone else there, it was like, it's a lunch. We're all talking about stuff. But for him, it was just like all these names were like all around him and he just could not believe it. And so for me, it was like just asking him in and having him get some fries and just have him be there. That gets him on the road. So, I love encouraging people to take that little extra step. The worst that happens is, believe me, if people want to lose you, they'll lose you. They'll turn a corner, you'll come around the corner, they're gone. Believe me, they press a button, wall flips, you don't get to go to the secret hangout. But if they're they're fine with having you there, and you learn some things and you have a good time and you have a story 10, 15, 20 years later that you end up telling to fill time, because not enough people had the spine to go to a talent show, a virtual talent show. You literally had to shift one ass cheek on the couch, press a button on your laptop that's right there in front of you, tell your roommates to shut up, please, for 5 minutes, and then yell into a microphone. I'm not going to use the word disappointing. I'm just going to think it. So anyway, I guess with 1 hour going in, we're going to move now to the discussion and judging. So I'm going to bring in Greg, JRWR, and Mouse, and we're going to have a little chat right now about what we've just experienced and what we think. So, and we're going to have this out in the open, because open source is the way to go. So we're going to be transparent about the process.
Oh, by the way, we got an entry that just showed up. Omar, a good friend of mine from the Red Team Village, has just shown up. He's got a talent for you.
Are we gonna slip in Omar? Okay, Omar, we cut it after Omar. Omar, where are you?
I'm here. Can you hear me?
I can see you, Omar.
Awesome. Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you.
Awesome.
Bring it.
So first of all, just shout out to the community here. I know a couple of you. I'm going to make a fool of it of myself. I'm not a musician, even though I have a whole bunch of music instruments behind me. But I literally just recorded something because JRWR, I'm dedicating this to you guys. But again, I'm not a musician, so please don't judge. Let me see if I can play this through the Zoom. Give me 1 second. So the story about this song.
Actually, we are going to judge, because that's what we're doing here, is judging it. So,
and the story about this song is actually so I'm originally from Puerto Rico, but there's a Spanish culture on me. So I play a little bit of guitar and piano and synthesizers and stuff. So I'll try to make a fool of myself now. So I'll be right there.
Okay. I'm not a musician, he says, standing in front of a Sam Ash music store.
Anyways.
Okay, now. All right. So Omar, in the last third act, coming in with what I'm calling spicy hold music. Awesome. So I think we got a few people who are slipping in, but I think we're going to call it at 10, because we got to discuss we got to now look at this list of people. We got to figure out what we're going to do. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 people, all adding up here. But I will allow this. We're not going to judge you. Like you're not in the race, but I don't want to not give reward to somebody who jumped in right at the end. So Revenok or Conniver T, or however your name is, unmute please. That's RTV.
Hi.
Hi. How do you pronounce that, buddy?
So yeah, for everyone out there who don't know what's going on, essentially what I've done is I've done this thing that we sometimes do at DEF CON 2.1 and give up.
I smashed it together.
And provided I can get everything going on here, because now my machine's slightly freaking out.
All right, well, look, you've come a bit late for the thing, but I did want to hear what your talent is, and maybe even
Here we go.
hear it if you wanted to share it with the crowd.
Well, yeah,
Actually,
thank
kill
you.
this.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to disqualify you from re-entering next week.
Thank you.
Here.
Okay. Well, I don't think I'm going to get into the competition, but I wanted to show you that when the pandemic.
Yeah, guys, what I've essentially done is I've given up and I've gone on to like my main machine. And so we're probably going to have to finish the episode basically like this. But as you can see, it's actually installing because I have enough memory and everything for this stupid language. So once it goes over that slight hump there, which it's still chugging along with, we should all be good to go. And then we're going to finish this up in the most classical bootleg way we can for an episode of Crypto Barrons and something involving DEF CON 201. You're going to ask me something? Okay.
This duct tape.
I'll save what I just brought for later.
Oh man,
Yep.
This is so unfair. Now I'm like, do I gotta slip? Ellie, I love you. Way too long. But I'm gonna put you in
The
this
mass.
competition here. I'm gonna put you in the 12 because we were originally planning for 12 anyway. And Jesus, dude, you got blasting out sewing skills. Oh man, nice. All right. So,
Thank you.
All right. So let's call it at that. And like I said, Ellie, I love you, but we're gonna stick with the 12. If there's anything you need to say, just say it.
Trying to free up some memory on here. I'm going to increase the volume until progress is properly made.
Let's go right now. So we got Greg, we got JRWR. I guess Ken, you're part of the audience because you did that, and of course Mouse. Let's just quickly review how we want to go with this. So, all of the people who entered, who are still in the chat, if you want to, can they DM one of you, like JRWR or Greg?
Yeah, we can DM in the chat.
Yeah.
Okay. So as we mentioned, we want your email addresses. So email addresses to Greg, because then if we make any arrangements for prizes or stuff we're going to send you for being so brave, I want to make sure that you all have contact, because otherwise we're never going to find you again as you disappear into these insane crowds. So if you see Greg Newbie on the thing, just DM him, give him an email or contact information so that he can send along things. All right. So let's go right here. We got we got a couple groups of people. We got two, dog tricks. We've got people whose talents were unable to be filmed for Zoom. We have the Silence of the Grave. So I think just to calm things down, I think we're going to definitely take the Silence of the Grave and we're going to put that aside, just because I don't think it'll scale out past. Similarly with Invisible, Zoom talents, Illuminator. But please send in your contact info, because I think you should still get a prize for entering into this contest. All right. Anybody have any of the judges have any standouts they want me to start moving towards the top, or things that really blew you away, or anything else?
Well, I did notice there was somewhat of a dog trend.
There were two lovely dogs,
Yes, there were.
Trixie and Julian, who were able to come in out of the crowd and do cool things. You had the dog that could do the high five, which is a talent you need post-pandemic.
It's basically
And then, of course, Julian was able to respond loudly on cue, which is what you want in a small apartment. So it sounds to me like we were all kind of agreeing that dog tricks are definitely something towards the top. So I'm going to move that to the top, towards the top. Musical heat shrink. I'm inclined to put that one down with the other guys, not because of lack of spirit, just because it's more like a talent that I don't know, just didn't translate for our show. But still, I mean, wonderful. But
Because of
that's me. That's me taking it. Now we're getting here to the middle here. Now Cindy is a badass. So there's that fundamental bit. I'd rather just reward Cindy by being in her life as long as I possibly can, personally, and keeping track of the things she's doing on my window, on one of my windows, I have the Google Doc of your preservation discussion from a couple of weeks ago that I have been putting on to just glance at and read and understand. So I hope you keep publishing. I hope that's what one of the things that's coming out of the work you're doing is going to be more historical publishing and taking your knowledge and dumping that out into the world. And I will be the first person to promote it as wide as possible and ensure that people see it. So this contest, I'm going to put you with the other folks at the bottom, but it's not personal, but I am going to support and love you as much as I can going forward. Let's see. Spicy hold music. I think we got to say that one's got to go up towards the end of the top there.
I needed an explanation of that, Jason. I don't know if we can go back. I don't know if you're allowed to inquire, but I mean, so was this, it sounded like it was pre-recorded. Was it like Arduino music? Like I would like just a little bit of the backstory, because I feel like,
it's
got
true.
talent, and going to YouTube and playing someone else's song is not as much talent as composition.
Good point. Was this composed recently or part of this, or was this you just proud of the work you did?
You're muted.
Let me go off mute. So it's a little bit of everything. So what I did, because JRWR pinged me on a different chat, I actually went to a different room that I have back here, and I have a Rode synthesizer. Basically, put a Rodecaster to it, record to it like if it was a podcast, and then transfer that thing, came back here, plugged it in, and then I play back to you. The actual original song for that is called Lamento Borincano.
He's straight up indicating this was a quick shot performance brought in during the event, during the contest.
Literally with GarageBand, I guess.
Okay.
Not a professional.
I mean, I'm impressed. I mean, that was what I wanted to hear, and I'm impressed.
That is. I'm going to throw him towards the top right now. RPI guy's pen story was amazing, but I also think that with such strong running going on here, raconteurs, as much as I love being a raconteur myself, have to go down. Gene, however, played an actual instrument, made it happen, hit those chords. I think right now we're going to split things to the top and the bottom, so I'm just going to put Gene up there just for actually stroking an instrument. And I'm sorry, sewing skills, that's the most charming thing I've had happen next to the dog high five. So I'm going to put that up there towards the top. David's comedy. Well, David tried. He did try, put himself out there. But again, and it would have been fine in a smaller field, but competition got tough, super tough. And then the most gracious Zoom bomb ever from Cameron. I'm going to put Cameron. I'm going to say to Cameron, you are encouraged to think about what you've done, and then go next week. Please enter next week. Put your show together, and I will more than happily see you there. Okay, so let's just talk right now. We got 5 people who I think really put it out there. We got Omar's Spicy Hold music. We have 2 dog acts, Leah's Trixie Trick, Tweed's Julian Tricks, Gene writing a Bob Dylan song, and of course, sewing skills. So let me hear from my co-judges of that field. What do you think? What do you think really stands out for you?
I agree. I just can't figure out whether or not it was the first or the second dog that really did it for me.
First dog, high five. Second dog, roll over, speak, fetch,
and hit the streets somewhere other than where they were supposed to go. Which is okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm having real trouble with that one.
Yeah. Okay. So that one's still floating with you. How about you, Greg? Any thoughts on?
Well, I mean, so I don't know how many you know this. I have 24 dogs right now at home, and 16 of them are in the house. The rest are outside. I got sled dogs. So I spend most of my time fearing that the dogs are going to have a howl fest when I'm in the middle of one of these Zoom meetings. And they actually did during the first session today when I was on deck. So I love dogs. I'm happy to have dogs in the contest, but I'm not quite as impressed by dogs making noise as maybe some other folks are. Even noise on demand. Getting dogs to stop making noise on demand, I would be impressed by. So in other words, I'm not. I hate to say it, and my wife's in the other room. She can't hear me saying this right now. But I don't know if I would put the dogs in the very, very top tier. I think I might opt for another group in the top tier.
Interesting. All right. So I'm going to shift them down a little bit, keep them. But your opinion is that maybe they shouldn't even be in the top tier.
No, I think the top half was great. I think
okay.
From my point of view, the top half is great, but I don't know that I would say, Mouse was saying maybe they're top two out of that 5 or so.
One dog has to comment, but I'm not sure which one. The first one had some panache, but the second one was a little bit more obey.
Yeah, the second dog was very well trained, except for the cleanup, and the first dog though had exotic tricks. I mean, how often. I don't have a memory of running into a high five trick being on the menu with a dog.
This is true. High fives are pretty rare among dogs.
Usually these dogs, if you're lucky, they'll bark, they'll roll over, they'll run towards a thing. But if you're like, I need you to do a thing with me, that's work. That's hard work. All right. So I'm going to keep Trixie above Julian. So sewing skills to me right towards the top, or if not in the top. Fashion, hacker fashion, by reusing, dealing with things, gave us the good story about this being pandemic related and being inspired to try new things. So I'm putting that right up towards the top. So then all that put together, where does the Bob Dylan guitar song go?
Ooh. Well, who's top 3 right now?
Right now, sitting the way we've got it, I would say if I arrange these things like I'm looking at it, I've got sewing skills and spicy hold music at the top. I've got the 2 dogs facing off, and then I have Bob Dylan bringing up the rear with just a few quick strokes of happiness, and that's it.
Well, so can a dog technically give a high five if it only has 4 toes?
Yes, it can, because high five is just a term. Just a term.
Ah.
High five's just a term. Can a person with a missing finger give a high five? Yes. Can a
yes, Bill Hurd can give a 4.5.
Sir, I work in compliancy. I think that's out of compliance.
Can a person missing a leg give you a leg up?
He could have a leg up.
This is very dark humor, and eventually something's going to come out of our mouth, and we're going to be several think pieces in before Tuesday. So let's not go there. Anyway, I'm inclined to throw sewing skills at the top, followed by spicy hold music. Served. We're using the honor system that it was served on tap, and then we got 2 dogs. Where are we going? Trixie, Julian, which way? High five or speak?
I would have the cleanup. I was waiting for the cleanup. A dog that can clean up was that's impressive. A high five, dogs give paws all the time. They shake, right? So a shake and a high five is just a variation on the theme. But actually cleaning up toys on demand would have been pretty impressive.
Okay, so I think we got this. Okay, so this is what I think. 5th place, Bob Dylan guitar song, Gene. 4th place, Julian, but I would ask Tweed to consider bringing Julian back next week.
Folks,
to see if for a new crowd, Julian brings, because this was all very, it's very difficult to work with animals, and if you don't have a time, both animal performances were excellent for no preparation and just being foisted into the world. So I would say bring Julian back next Saturday if possible, And then Leah, third place with Trixie, high five. Omar, Spicy Hold Music, number 2. And then finally, RT with Sewing Skills, winning the Hackers Got Talent first night tonight. So wow, thank you so much. Now, RT, do you wish to make a speech?
Yes, thank you. Well, I don't know, I don't know what to say, but uh, I'm just glad you liked it, and I'm very grateful that I got to show something for the long time I've been uh, stuck in my house.
I think it's fantastic that you had that going on. I am also now going to ask Spicy Hold Music, Omar, what little speech do you want to give for second place?
He's muted again.
He is muted again. Little heartbreaker.
Of course, I'm double muted. Not
double muting all the way.
We have to blame it to the mute button.
That's
I was saying that I like the Spicy Hold Music. I think that's gonna be my new handle.
Spicy Hold Music.
Yeah,
it is an excellent one.
And thank you again. I was definitely not expecting that. So thanks again.
Lack of preparation and going into the breach will be the theme of the first day of Hope. So I'm quite fine with this being that exact situation. So, and of course, Leah, do you have anything to say? We've been talking endlessly about your dog and the high five.
Yeah, I'm glad her high fives get off. She did give paw first, and then we like flipped our hands. So you were right about that.
How long did it take for Trixie to learn to high five?
Only like an hour. Once we like actually sat down to do it, because she already knew how to like give you her paw, so we just had to like keep like holding her paw up and then feeding her, and then
you just had to give a little nudge, and that's the extra. That's the extra right there.
Yeah, she's like pretty good at things when you feed her, as most of us.
As most of us are. Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. Right now, the Blarney Stone is crying from all the lack of terrible food they can't give to all the hackers. And
I want to see the 24 dogs. I feel like that is a much more interesting talent. I know you're a judge, Greg, but I kind of want to see like your 24 dogs like racing or something.
Yeah, that's a what do you call it? That's almost a medical condition.
Yeah, we see it's a condition my wife has, and it's called Crazy Dog Lady.
Are they racers? Are you competitive dog like a sled?
Yeah, mushing. Yeah, we do, and I love it. It's great. It's I share the illness, but it's mainly my wife's illness. We have sled dogs.
I love the fact that if somebody says they have 20 cats, you go, "Oh, you are a 60-year-old lady." But if somebody says they have 20 dogs, they're like, "Oh, you must be working them hard on the landscape in snow." That's the first reason you'd have 20 dogs. So I always like that. But of course, once again, Greg feeds right into it. Once you hit that 20 dog threshold, you better be racing them. Why even? Do they have interesting names, or are they okay names?
Most of them come pre-named. I can tell you that Emmanuel Goldstein's favorite is named Maud. That's a sweet little girl named Maud. So some of them have sort of human names. Some of them are more like dog names, such as Spike and those types of things.
But they don't have names like 43.
No, that's the funny thing. I mean, if the 24 dogs all have totally different personalities and easy to tell apart. Just like if you knew 24 people, so yeah, they all have their own names.
Just for the trivia of it, what's the leader dog's name?
Well, we had a leader that died recently, and so we're not sure. Things are in flux now in the dog kennel, and there's a couple
a grasp
of dogs
for power.
Yeah, and the funny thing is the female dogs are much more competitive about it than the male dogs. The male dogs tend to be pretty mellow.
Who was the leader though? Who was the esteemed leader?
Well, we had a dog named Nikki who was
Mickey.
Female, Nikki with an N. Nikki was a female, very big husky. These are all huskies, and very strong, but also very gentle. And what happens is the very biggest dogs, we have another one named Moose here, who's a big male. The very biggest dogs don't need to fight. They don't need to posture because they're they dominate by their size.
They're
It's
literally
the
the big
smaller
dogs.
ones. Yeah, the smaller ones get vicious because they're fighting for like third place versus fourth place versus eighth place and stuff like that.
I know that feeling. Okay, so and then finally, Gene, you slipped in under the radar. So, did you have anything you wanted to say to the crowd?
Yeah, thank you for allowing me to be in first place. I didn't really fifth place. Sorry, in the top 5.
It can be fifth place on the paper, but first place in your mind.
First place in my heart, at least.
Yeah.
I feel like if I had preparation time and I knew what I was going to do, I'd pull a more exotic instrument out in the future, which I may do later. But this is good.
Well, I will not. I will not. What do you call it? I will not stop you from trying to enter next week. So yeah.
I mean,
this was over. Tweed, I know we skipped you. Let's talk to you for a moment. Very sorry about that. Dogs. So you heard what we said before, which was basically, we put a lot of pressure on Julian, and I would love it if Julian came back next week. Did another act.
Yeah, well, it's hard to follow a stellar dog performance like Trixie. So we will shore up our game and come back with some more productive tricks than hiding toys or scattering toys and making loud noises at night.
Well, that is fantastic. And I look forward to seeing it. I'll be here next week. I believe. Is it the same time again, Greg? Is it like 10 o'clock?
It is. It's exactly the same time. And maybe, I don't know if we could get input from the group here. We did this registration thing. We filled up on registration, and then almost no one who registered showed up. And all these other people showed up and did a great job. So, and a lot of people were having trouble getting into the Zoom. So you can tell me now, or just email me, or get in touch in the Matrix chat. But how can we run this so that it's, more effective at getting people in the room?
Yeah, definitely stick out in the tech support channel to tell what's going on. Because again, this is for me. This is for, talent show. But I'd really hate if somebody thought they were going to be running some really cool panel and brought some people in and it wasn't working and everyone's miserable. I was able to get on pretty easily, but I have been prepping my, this is my area. I noticed that a bunch of people were coveting this. This is an Emmy that was won by one Jay Levenger, my partner's father, who we lost last year. He won multiple, and he let his daughter keep it around the house. So we think of him, but it's wonderful whenever people in the background go, "Is that an Emmy?" And you have to go, "Yeah, it's kind of an Emmy." So that's the story behind that. So everybody in the channel know you can't have it.
Greg, if you could play my video though, that would be great. I just for an honorable run-up mention,
I've been wanting to play your video for like an hour and a half now. So I do want to say to all the people in the room, doesn't matter if you competed, doesn't matter if you won, doesn't matter if you're a judge, please do get me your email address and we'll get some of these little prizes to you.
And also I want to call out to No Starch Press, who has given us some vouchers, to Nullcon and Hardware, WEAR.io, who have given us some t-shirts. And of course, there's some 2600 swag that's going to be worked with. So thank you to all of those people who have been handing us prizes. I'm sure we'll have others and or different versions next week. I think that's it. Has anybody got anything from the staff?
We're gonna play this. We're gonna play the Red Dwarf video as an outro.
Yes.
And then we'll just have the info beamer up until around midnight when we have our demo scenes concert starting. We got about 3 hours of demo scenes. So we'll have a little bit of quiet time for people to reflect, maybe get a beverage, maybe take a small nap, whatever seems appropriate. Yeah. And we'll do it again next week. As I said, the logistics of hope. I think if anything, we have maybe too many technologies that we selected. That's sort of what I'm picking up on from some of the tech feedback. And but we want to make it as easy as possible. And please do send input on next week's contest, because we'll read it and very likely take it into account.
Absolutely. We're here for you. Like I said, I'll be doing a show on Radio Statler all next week. There's a tech support channel on the Matrix for you to feed back into. This con has been going on for years, and they had a very specific set of roles and rules and approaches that had been time tested and worked through. And then they were getting ready to completely upend it to go to a new location that was going to be a whole different experience. And then they had to switch it to yet a third location. So that would devastate and destroy most conferences. That would just lead to a full-on cancellation. So the fact that everyone worked as hard as they have to make this work as it is quite miraculous, frankly. So again, I'm Jason Scott. You've been seeing from Greg and JRWR and Mouse, who is now my co-host on this mess. And you're going to see a video from Mouse, and I'm sure you'll see us in the hallway at various times in the Hope experience. Again, thank you. This has been Hackers Got Talent, and if you gotta, put your pants on, but it's optional.
Thanks for hosting, Jason. Fantastic job as always. We'll let's go ahead and play the movie, and we'll call it a contest, and we will reconvene in 1 week.
guess call this one a bust here. Sorry, everybody. I tried to do the best that I could, but again, if you need any more proof that Libra is a terrible idea, the fact that they wrote it all in Rust is just like no, just absolute no. But yeah. So I guess the summary of this is that Facebook is trying to make their own. Let me make this. Let me increase the video size here because we have to end this. Otherwise, the stream's going to go on for like 5 hours. So basically, well, you have to know about Libra is that it's Facebook trying to make their own cryptocurrency. They're not competing with other cryptocurrencies. They're mainly competing with fiat money. They're not decentralized. They go with the authority of banks and government. They will be able to see your transactions with the government. They say they're not going to collect your data, but they obviously are going to interface and connect their data with Facebook, their parent company, in order to do everything. And that this is such a thing that even other governments are nervous about it. And in particular, not only has the United States and the UK and stuff has really beaten up Libra so that they have to keep redoing it, but that China is essentially taking their current fiat currency and making it digital. And if you read how China's doing it, it's literally a copy and paste over from Facebook Libra. So it seems like governments don't mind this sort of centralized currency with blockchain. They just don't want a third party doing it. They want to do it themselves. They still want to keep all the awfulness, but they want to make it like, that, it's the United States. It's just going to be bull crap. It's going to be United States bull crap. Anyhow, that's unfortunately our episode of Crypto Barons. I thought this was going to go a lot more smoother than it actually did just because frickin' Rust, man. Maybe what I'll do is, since the master noding next episode won't take very long, that was supposed to be another short episode. This was supposed to be a very short episode. We were like literally barely doing an hour, and then all this stuff happened, and like 3 hours later, here we are. I went through an entire progressive block pin set and cooked dinner in the time that this thing almost compiled for the third time correctly on a computer. So I will do this. What I'll do is I'll work all week to get it running, and then when I get it running, whether it's on that computer or this computer, I will show it to you guys. What we're gonna do here. So there's all of that. So anyhow, that was Crypto Barons. If you like what you see, you can hit like and subscribe at the stream that you said below. We're part of DEFCON 201. You can find us at defcon201.org. Please, again, every day until August 2nd, we're going to be around 3 to 4 p.m. We are going to watch the Hope 2020 keynotes and comment on them. I will be here tomorrow at 3. We're going to do a pre-show and watch the Electron Frontier Alliance panel, which DEFCON 201 is part of the Electron Frontier Alliance subset of the EFF. And then we're gonna watch the keynote, and then we're gonna probably look at some of the VR stuff that Hope's doing. Check out some of the villages, and of course interact with the Element chat in there. So anyhow, this has been episode Crypto Barons, because apparently Master of Unlocking never starts on time, but everything goes super smooth, and Crypto Barons always starts earlier on time, but none of the programming ever works. And welcome to the hell that's DEFCON 201 in New Jersey. So have a great night, guys. Enjoy the rest of Hope. Hope to see you all again here tomorrow for the Hope 2020 keynote. And hopefully End Commander will come back on Wednesday. And then 2 weeks, it'll be our meeting. And next weekend's DEF CON. It's crazy, so look out for our guides. Anyhow, that's our show. Thank you for watching Crypto Barons. Peace.